Please note that the following views and the opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily the views nor the opinions of the Master Force Group, YouTube.com, Free America Radio Network, our sponsors, our partners, and MFG is a private society, and nothing here is ever to be construed as hate, medical, nor legal advice. And listen to the Forbidden History prime time 7 days a week right here on therealpublicradio.net, because hidden beneath the sands of time lies the greatest of all mysteries. It's the Forbidden History. Unearth for yourself the secret truths that lie hidden just beneath the surface below our feet. What is it that the powers that be do not want you or I to know? Come and journey with us as we explore and dare to know, because it's all right here, coming your way 7 days a week on therealpublicradio.net, Free America Radio Network. Somewhere out there, it's what they didn't want you to know that we tell right here. Stand by for the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, and still time to call your friends. We'll be right back.
The missing dimension in world politics is the spiritual dimension. The problems of life cannot be solved by material means. Modern civilization is missing the point of life. Human life is meant for understanding spiritual values. Real knowledge is knowing yourself, what you are, what God is, and understanding your relationship and duty to God. It is our duty to understand God, abide by His laws, and learn to love Him. Then all of our problems will be solved. When men are not governed by God, they will be ruled by tyrants. The material world is just like a prison. The spirit soul is imprisoned in a material body which is imprisoned in the material world. We do not belong in this material world. We are spirit souls and belong to the spiritual world. Modern civilization is wrongly directed to the fulfillment of sense gratification, the basis of material life and a barrier to spiritual realization. The demonic believe that the enjoyment of the senses is the ultimate goal of life. However, it is not possible to become peaceful and happy in the attempt to gratify the temporary senses. The result is usually the opposite. A materialistic culture based on sense gratification agitates the mind and senses. Unless one controls the mind and senses, one cannot make any spiritual advancement. The great sages of all bona fide religions were completely free of material attachments because they knew that spirit is permanent while matter is temporary. Our present culture would have us debase ourselves and become more and more entangled in materialism, so that the path to the spiritual world is blocked. The demonic wish to make this planet a closed system where it cannot function for the purpose it was intended. The material world was created to give man the opportunity to purify himself of his material consciousness, for the aim of life is to go back home, back to God. The demonic cannot go back home until they rid themselves of their demonic mentality, and so they wish to make it impossible for anyone else to return home. This is the ultimate goal of psychological warfare, to entangle man in materialism so that he cannot return home, back to the Supreme Lord. Mind control in America. Break it.
And welcome to Forbidden History Live, the original thought transliteration project with Ask Dezert-Owl, ladies and gentlemen. Good to have you. And I hope you are telling your friends about the broadcast. We want to have a revolution in thinking. And boy, interesting times that we're in, right? Oh, where's the quote? I didn't see the quote. Ninja, did you put up the quote? I totally missed it. So would you just bring it on while I do this particular presentation?
Okay, one
I
second.
don't know that was quick. You know, I like that make impact, and you know that one you should stretch a little bit, but we'll put it up.
Sorry, I read it twice.
All right, yeah, I don't know where it was. I've been looking at the screen the whole time. I never saw it. It came after Stephen?
Yes, it's coming back now.
All right. So anyway, yeah, we gave a special quote of the day to BB mass murderer out there in pseudo Israel. Of course, there is no Israel. Israel was done away with. And I was inspired this weekend to create an email and you can go ahead and bring on the email, I guess, Ninja, because it'll take a minute to come over. And I sent it out to my database dealing with the issue over there with pseudo-Israel and Hamas. But, you know, basically, you can see they acknowledge that they're liars. They've always been liars. The Israeli Communist Front. That's what it is. It's a communist front. And I mean, he looks like Khrushchev, right? You know, he looks like one of those Soviet Union bosses from way back. And and so you know, the pictures that I saw that Max Egan brought on, I don't know why this thing has taken so long to switch out.
It's in the process.
All right, there it goes. Well, it makes me think that you know, there's something else going on. Okay, so okay, let me go to my now. Geez, I can't go to it. All right. All right, here we go. Okay, so looking at the email, I did something in a way like I've never done before because you know, when I saw the propaganda machine in the media, and then these other so-called radio hosts or podcasters, whatever they call themselves today, you know, the whitewash of the truth was so great. And then I saw these pictures of the little group, you know, the whole host of little boys and girls that were murdered, that were dead, as Max pointed out that there was a lot of carnage there that goes into to the 5 digits. The dead is somewhere. I think I can't quote the number, but it's in 5 digits. You know, And and once again, they play the victim. Pseudo Israel plays the victim. Oh, we're being attacked. We've got a right to defend ourselves. And when they are always the oppressor, and they create the secret agent that comes in and looks like the bad guy when it's their guy. It's their guy. You see. And so I just, because I know some of our listeners are not on our email list, I wanted to show them what I produced for the benefit of uh, my longtime friends, and also those who in the email account, people that I don't even know that got in on the list. And and so those who forget the past are bound to repeat it. Here we go again. The first casualty of war is the truth. The first thing that you should put into your body must be the truth. You must see and read it for yourself. I'm quoting Revelations 3:9 now. And this is the original thought transliteration, because all translations have been corrupted. We have no original to look at. And so basically we have to look into the thread of what is being said, and as I do as a transliterator, a shulfar of the Heavenly Father, is to hyphenate the words, because what kind, when it's a certain word, it's like, okay, what nature of that particular word, so hyphenating a word, like using the word bad. Well, how bad? Real bad, sadistic bad, those. So you have to hyphenate a word, and it brings out really what's implied. What's implied, it needs to be stated, because if it's not stated, then the average individual doesn't get it. So this is the element, in short, of how the transliteration works. Okay, so behold is you must see and read it for yourself. That's a code they didn't want us to have. They gave us behold, but it means you must see and read it for yourself. So let's see and read it for ourselves today, ladies and gentlemen, and see if we don't smell a pig. Okay, I will bury those who are from the house of the serpent, who claim that they are Israel, and yet they are not. But they are all truly perpetual liars. Revelation 3:9. And so they have in there the Satan. You see, they changed the word serpent into Satan because they are a serpent cult. So that's where the word Satan comes from, to cover for them. Okay? And so we have to put it back in what is correctly expressed. It was always about the serpent, right? What was the first problem on the planet, right, that we read about? The problem was with the serpent, and the serpent is man, criminal and sinner. That's what it means. That's appropriate. And monster. That's what they are, right? Of course. Okay, so just note all translations have been altered from the Vatican, through the Vatican, I should have said, by the Baal-I Suits. Baal means master. The master eye. Sooth is an abbreviation of come on, shul, I think, knowledge. The master eye. I looked it up. I actually looked up the word and found. I remember now. Yeah, like forsooth, truth, right? So they're the master eyes of the truth. That's what Baal-I Suth means. It's another word for truth. It's not the only one. Math is truth. But so the Baal-I Suth, so they're the ones who are telling us what the truth is. They're controlling the narrative, and they call themselves the master eyes of truth, right? Yeah. And at the College of Abbreviators. And yes, I am available for interviews, but it seems like there's nobody intellectually capable of interviewing me today, because either they're sellouts or they're stupid, one or the other. They're either the controlled opposition, the gatekeepers, pretending to be patriots and freedom lovers and Christians and all those things, but in the end, they're the sellouts. What's that one I always talk about? Ninja. Oh, the coup, the status quo for the status coup. Yeah, status quo, real communist. And that inkblot that they have on there at the end of their opener is rather telling as well, that because they got an inkblot also on for thumbs down on Odyssey. That's rather interesting. That same inkblot they use on their opener is the one right there for a thumbs down, right? And so warning, I put a warning here because I knew this was going to a lot of mainstream people that I know, and in this area and beyond. And so I wanted to put the caveat right there. Warning: the following content is only for those who can handle the truth. Be forewarned. Yeah, it's going to shock a lot of people, right? A fact: the word Jew never existed before the year 1700, including the letter J, as in judicial. Get the picture. Letter J entered the dictionaries in the 1800s. A fact: a Jew is not a Judean or a Judean. You see, they put the Jew. That's why they could make it look so similar, because they got the J in front of Judean, and Judeans makes people think that, oh yeah, that's a Jew. Okay, no, it's not. They're nor are they Israeli. Okay, and it's Euthanian. Euthanian is the most correct and original. A fact: the word Jew was never in the Old or New Testaments. Fact, okay? And they if they could have, they would have made Pharaoh a Jew. I'm convinced of it, because they want everyone to be a Jew, They probably would have made Abraham a Jew as well, if they thought about it long enough. But it's the greatest show on earth, ladies and gentlemen, is what we're talking about. A fact: the word Torah is a code word that means the Babylonian Talmud, according to their very own Jewish Kabbalah. I read it, okay? I read it in the Kabbalah. It says Torah means Talmud. So every time they're talking Torah, and they're nodding their head to each other, you know what I mean, brother? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. And everybody else think, oh, 5 books of Moses. Okay, right. Yeah, no. Scam. You've been scammed, ladies and gentlemen. A fact: the Jew, by origin, is a Babylonian, Assyrian, Ashkenazi, Nazi, Khazar Aryan. Okay? Their claim: we wage all revolutions. Well, that sounds like the communist movement. The Maoist revolution, the Ho Chi Minh revolution, the great Lenin and Trotsky, and for the communist revolution in the Soviet Union, right? So there you go. We wage all revolutions. That's a quote by Albert Pike, 33-degree Jewish Freemason, U.S. The U.S. Grand Poobah and author of the Masonic Handbook, Morals and Dogma. As you can see, morals is 2 words. They want more, and they want it all, and they claim it all, and they claim you as their slave. Okay, you as their slave, and they openly claim. I've seen it on the in the past few weeks on videos that each Jew is going to have 2,000 goyim for their slaves. They really think this, They really think this, and they state it, They are so, because the tragedy is, of course, that those they bring up in this culture are mind slaves. They're brainwashed. They're automatons. They're not real. They think there's something when they are nothing, and and that's in spite of the fact, okay, that we're told to love our enemies, so there's no hatred here. We're just revealing the real nature of who these people are, because they're gunning for you. They're going to start with the gun, finish off the Palestinians, and then they're gunning for you. They did it in Maui, right? They did it in Maui. We saw that. They did it in Malibu. They did it in Palestine. They did it in Australia. Burned down half the continent and killed. Oh, they estimated over a billion animals. Maybe it was a couple billion, but it was at least a billion. That because it was so vast. All those slow-moving koalas, and at least the kangaroos can hop pretty good, but so many of those innocent, slow-moving creatures just couldn't make it. The Vatican, and they tell us in all the movies, by the way, that they're going to burn the world down. That's bottom line. The Vatican Jesuit Jew Inquisition was run against the free-thinking and spiritual Christians as a whole. That's why, I'm hoping that this, when I make that point like that, that the Jesuits were founded by the Jewish Adam Weishaupt, or no, that he was head of Illuminati. The other one, come on, like you want to remember all these people. Anyway, it was founded by right on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, it's funny because they tell us right out the gate that it's all a Jewish organization. The Jesuits and the Vatican. You see the Pope wears the same hat, the little moon cap that all the other in Israel, pseudo Israel are wearing. And they're all a brotherhood, and they have different different offices. They have different um, groupings in different parts of the world. The banking in Switzerland, the religion in the Vatican. Then you got the victim over there called Israel. The victim, those poor state of the art mass murder cult can't. They're wanting the pity of the world. They want you to send them your dollars too. Of course, there are no dollars, but they'll take whatever you think you should send them, and convince you that they're God's chosen. To use the terminology when, well, they were the real Israel was chosen, but then they betrayed their birthright of being second born, and to come with the revelation of the higher order of things, and therefore they were banished, annihilated, cut off, sent away by the Assyrian armies to be seen or heard from no more. Israel ceased to exist in 724 BC. Okay, and then it happened to Judah, misnomered as Judah, when they were sent to Babylon around 580, about 140 years later, give or take, and so by virtue of that, by virtue of both of the cultures at one point being taken away, means that whatever came back is pseudo. Whatever came back is not Judah or Utah, is not Israel or Eshreuva. It is a pseudo. In fact, isn't it interesting that when Yeshua went to call his buddies, right? He didn't go to Jerusalem, or he didn't go, around Judah. He went to Galilee. He went to the Syrian side of what used to be Israel. And so the guys he picked were like Kefe, Peter, and others were, with some exceptions, but I mean, as a whole, it appears that the majority of them were not even Judean, but they were actually from the Assyrian tribe from ancient time. And so what Yeshua was pointing out was that he takes all comers, that now it's open up. It's the gate is about to open up, not for the narrow-minded, self-centered, egotistical, think they're better than everyone else, Israel, right? But that the whole world can come in to the sacred ground of peace and harmony and love and truth. And so there's all these things that start opening up when you really know the truth about this, ladies and gentlemen. It just keeps unfolding. A fact, the Vatican Jesuit Jew Inquisition was running. Yeah, that was the last point I made. A fact, they burned Christians at the stake for just reading and quoting the Bible. They burned them at the stake. Bible being Babel. Bible is a cyber code, and it's Babel. And it's not the original. The original word for Bible would be book, and Bible is not book. Bible is a code, and it means the two powers. And so one is light, one is darkness. It's a duality. And it's shofar, the original word for shofar. They're like the ram's horn, and it means knowledge from afar. Well, that's what a book is, right? It comes from far away, and we get to read it. Okay, a fact: the Jewish Rothschild Red Shield, red for communism, banking family, claimed their original family name was Bauer, but that's simply a code for vow of war, a vow for perpetual war, in fact, because they've always waged war on mankind from the beginning of recorded history. Why would a teenage boy or girl walk into a Jewish, not Israel, cafe and blow themselves up? Remember, they did that big time back in the 1980s, 1970s, 80s, and maybe in early 90s. And, we haven't heard much about that lately, but there was a whole string of them, and they were going into Jewish cafes and blowing themselves up. And it was like, okay, nobody gets it. They're making them out of terrorists, but they don't send their children to blow themselves up when they're what as my point is here, that they were trying to get the world's attention. What are you going to do when you have no hope and you want to save your people, right? Somebody has to be a sacrifice to get the world's attention. That's all it was. They drove them to that. Imagine the terrorism that they were under that drove them to that, to strap bombs on their teenage sons and daughters and had them go into a bus or into a cafe to blow themselves up, right? Imagine the stress they felt, huh? I'm feeling a bit of the stress myself with being surrounded by these creeps and not being able to go out and enjoy a walk, But I've resolved that I can do the apartment, and just stay in here, and and it's very inspiring. In fact, the more they have oppressed me, the more I have seen their true colors and what they're really all about, and being able to define them. Basically, it appears better than anyone else because I don't hear anybody defining them in these terms, right? A fact, people at large are about to have a great wake-up call, and many already are, but the rest, just hang on because it's coming. They're coming for me, but they're coming for you, right? And then I've got the videos that I placed here. This 6-minute one. If you want this email, you just have to email me. My email is on my about page. It's on Ninja's about page, Ask Dezert-Owl, either about page or down in the description. The email's there, also phone number, and I can get you this email because this is so important that we be the counterbalance in this deception and the war they waged on little boys and girls. It's waged on them, okay? Because in a war zone, you're dealing with adults, but their pseudo-Israel are mass murdering little boys and girls. And this little girl captured my heart. She's now a part of me. And that's why I did the email yesterday, because that little girl standing there helpless and crying and nobody even grabbing her, hugging her. They wanted to get the picture because they needed it. And then anybody that got caught getting pictures taken uploaded onto the cloud or any way they could get it out, they got beaten up and kicked in the teeth, maybe killed for getting this out because they created a blackout. They shut off the water. They shut off electricity. They shut off the internet. They shut it all down. So it would be a silent coup d'etat of genocide in Palestine, which used to be one of the most beautiful places in the world. Okay, so going further down. So the Men in Black, I got that one. That's a good one. This guy, he's on CBN, Christian Broadcasting Network, right? Of all the people they're going to get as the expert, right? A man in black, right? Just like when we, well, I can actually open it up. Why don't I just do that, Desert? What's the matter with you? Let's show them who these men in black really are. Come on, let's do it. Here we go. The world is governed by people far different than anyone could imagine. Disraeli, unseen hand right there. Make sure we get that cameo shot, right? Yeah, this is the real boss, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, boss, what do you want me to do? Oh, sure. Okay, I know I'm near Negro. What do you want me to do? Okay, yeah. Oh, Putin, he always looked like a real statesman, real power broker, and now he looks like a puppy dog. We got to stretch this out, Ninja. Let's redo this, and these clips go too fast. We got to get it soaking in. Okay? And thank you. Yeah, I can't even. And there you go, real Jew. We got two Jews in the White House. We got Biden and Camellia. She's a chameleon. Oh, and there's Ukraine, Mr. Ukraine. He's also in on the club. Whoa, it must be a real brotherhood. Union Pacific. They want to make everyone passive, right? Pacific. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Watch my right hand. Don't look at my left hand. Oh, Union Pacific. Well, what's that represent? Red, white, and blue? Those are the colors of communism. You see them all over the French flag. And see, it's the shield. Even on the interstate highways of America, you got the banking shield. You know what I'm talking about. The interstates. Sure, that's the banker. They're saying it's their land. This is so sorry, Woody Guthrie. This land is their land. This land is their land. Right? I know. And there you go. Palestine, they make a movie about it 5 months before they do it. And nobody gets that either. Yeah, we got to double the length on each of these graphics. And but thank you. Ninja does great work with getting these graphics, and we're always critiquing them so we can try to bring you the most important information on the face of the entire Earth. Oh, what did I just undo? I clicked the wrong one. Boing. Right. All right, we got it. That's okay. I'll figure it out. And then I included here, and what this newspaper says. I don't know when it, somewhere in last century, but the so-called Jews coined the term anti-Semitism as a smear word and as a smokescreen for communism, right? The victims, oh, don't say bad things about me. I'm just a good little Jew, and like that. I've never got, my sarcasm is coming to a new level today because of what they're doing. And we're there now, okay? It's not in the future. The genocide, it had been ongoing, but now it's ramped up. It's in the next level. Remember my analysis on Get Smart, right? Get Smart 86, he was a klutz. 99, that sweet, beautiful looking woman, she was perfect, right? And now they've brought it to their woman and it's perfection. Oh, but talking about the woman, we got the hidden woman coming up as well. I didn't plan on getting so long-winded, but I had to get this out. Okay, a fact. The Twin Towers were taken down by Israeli Mossad and the Jewish Skull and Bones Society. What the real name is the Brotherhood of Death. See my 911 presentation, and there's the link right there. And a fact, the American people were all declared. This is the real bottom line here, right? What the American people, and this was discovered by Dr. Eugene Schroeder of the agricultural movement, and a rancher and a veterinarian in Colorado. I met him, shook his hand, been to his presentations, and got his book, and talked to him on the phone, and it's a fact. The American people were declared the enemy of the Federal Reserve Jewish bankers by the War and Emergency Powers Act in 1933. This is when you were given notice. You didn't see it, I'm sorry, but you got it now. And these are the reasons, ladies and gentlemen, why the Mideast bleeds and why we were all bleeding, while we're suffering, while our world is crashing, while we're being poisoned to death by food, air, water, and disinformation, poisoned by all of it. And when Jennifer, she sent me a nice response to this. Be still, my heart. This email is a gold mine. Downloading the software now for doing an interview. Ninja and I will talk over the next few days so we can get this thing going. She wants to interview me. Yeah. I assume you prefer audio only. Is that right? And yada, yada. So she goes into that. But yeah, that was a nice way to wake up today. Jennifer, excited. She's a targeted individual. She knows the score. She wants to deflect the oppression that they have tried to put her under, and good for her. And I'm geared. And she seems to me very smart. She's really got a good head. And usually persecuted people have a wake up, and then their senses get sharpened. They become aware, and they figure things out. And that's the sidebar to being a targeted individual. Actually, you come to a highest conscious level, and that's why they like to sexually abuse their little boys and girls when they have them. In their cult society and the Talmudic society, they say, they suggest having sex with little ones as early as 3 years old, because that's mind control. Once you do that, you've controlled their mind. You've taken over their lives. You've destroyed them already by the abuse that you put them under. And that's how mind control works. Just like, there's no question in my mind that George Bush Sr. Did that's the very same thing to George Bush Jr., And are we still on screen share, Ninja, or what? You just switched back. Okay, thank you. And yeah, that was a mouthful. Okay, I think I'm ready for a break, Ninja. When we get back, I've got some questions by Eliza, and she's been waiting for like 2 weeks, and so I'm gonna get that next. And then I've got a mini stack of about 10 cards, and they have the hidden woman on here, and I'm going to do the words. I'm going to open up the screen and I'll do the words on the Word document so you can actually see it while I read it, at least for some of them, because that helps to to see it. I'd rather than do it in the margin. Okay, so we're doing it because somebody's got to, and that's why I'm here, ladies and gentlemen. And I just wanted to know. I said, hey, I don't care how bad it is, just give me the truth, and I'll learn how to deal with it. And boy, did I get an earful. And now the rest is, as they don't say, but I do. It's the forbidden history. So don't go away. We'll be right back with more of what they didn't want you to know. You did tell your friends? Come on, you got time right now. Go to it.
Listen, children, to a story that was written long ago about a kingdom on a mountain and the valley folk below. On the mountain was a treasure buried deep beneath a stone, and the valley people swore they'd have it for their very own. Go ahead and hit your neighbor. Go ahead and cheat a friend. Do it in the name of heaven. Justified in the end. There won't be any trumpets blowing come the judgment day on the bloody morning after. One tin soldier rides away. So the people of the valley sent a message up the hill, asking for the buried treasure, tons of gold for which they kill. Came an answer from the kingdom, with our brothers we will share all the secrets of our mountain, all the riches buried there. Now the valley cried with anger, mount your horses, draw your sword, and they killed the mountain people, so they won their just reward. Now they stood beside the treasure on the mountain, dark and red, turned the stone and looked beneath it. Peace on earth was all it said. Go ahead and hate your neighbor. Go ahead and cheat a friend. Do it in the name of heaven. You can justify it in the end. There won't be any trumpets blowing come the judgment day on the bloody morning after. One tin soldier rides away. Go ahead and hate your neighbor. Go ahead and cheat a friend. Do it in the name of heaven. You can justify it in the end. There won't be any trumpets blowing come the judgment day on the bloody morning after. One tin soldier rides away.
And welcome back to Forbidden History Live and Ask Dezert-Owl on the Forbidden History series. It's been long going for decades now, and still bringing it to you like nobody else, ladies and gentlemen, on the Original Thought Transliteration Project, OTTP, which is the main motivation I have. And Dane Wigington, yeah, we have to support Dane and his work. He's at the tip of the needle, exposing the main issue on the planet. That everything else hinges on this. This is everything they're doing to ramp up the food supply takedown Everything else, the genocide program, the murder of masses of people is the everything that happens is because our world is dying now. They've destroyed the ozone layer. UV-C and X-ray are now coming through, and nothing's growing. And plus the weather warfare, they're making sure of that with the dumping that they're doing. And talking about the mass, what I was just saying there, is interesting because the word Hamas, this is quite a word, and I'll do this in the chat. So yeah, go to the website, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. Ninja just popped it in there. I'll type in Dane to make it bolder here. DANEWIGINGTON. Yes, Dane is he shouldn't exist. I think somebody once said when they did a documentary on water, they said, it just shouldn't exist, but it does. And I think it's the same with Dane Wigington. He shouldn't exist. There shouldn't be a guy like this that is so unbelievably dynamic and can spell it all out, dedicated his entire life to this one focal point and defines it better than anybody else can, shames everybody in all the science communities and NASA, that's Nazi, and of course the phony government, right? Because there's a government behind the government, and that's the real power broker. They've always been there. You see, that's your Men in Black, right? When somebody came up with the 100 mile a gallon, 100 mile an hour, or 100 miles to the gallon carburetor, or the free energy device, and all those things. And what happened? The Men in Black came and they took it from them. And who do they represent but the Federal Reserve banking system? But they're worldwide. You see, they were in Ukraine hanging out with Belinsky, or whatever his name is, an Ashkenazi homosexual Jew actor. They're all actors. Isn't it interesting? How many actors they get? Oh, Schwarzenegger in California becomes governor, and then he goes back to acting again. And then the other actors, Ronald Reagan, last century. I mean, they're telling you, and even the actors who are in the Illuminati are in they were in the series called Mission Impossible, and they were in The Outer Limits. Before that, it was The Outer Limits. You'll see these same actors, and they're literally, then they create the phony, episodes like SANDYHOOK, okay, SANDYHOOK, that we can't even name it because it's taboo. You're not allowed to say those words because Boggy won't be happy with you. And so or maybe it was BB, huh? Yeah, could be. But anyway, I found it interesting. I guess I'll have to pull up my. Maybe I'll just do this one in the chat because I'm not going to those. Blah blah blah. Let me think about it. Okay, I'll put it right here. Okay, so we'll do this one in the chat. So hold back in the chat and for the moment. And HAMAS, Hamas. Thank you, George Orwell. We love the prediction that you put us into. All right. So HA is the, and so what do you get? You see? The mass. Now remember, this is just like the CIA. They made up the name. What was it? Taliban. They make up all the names. They make them all up. I like that one. Taliban. They were an Afghani rock group, and they hung out in the rocks, under the rocks, and they played rock at the same time. And they were friends. The bin Laden family, of course, were friends of the Bush family, and were contractors. They were general contractors in Saudi Arabia and other parts of the world, making big money to let the money flow. And business is good. And oh, by the way, we need you to do a little favor now because you're part of the inside group, and you've taken your blood oath and your secret handshake. So now, Ben, you're dying of cancer anyway. Sama, come on, we need you to play the boogeyman and go hide in a cave over there in Afghanistan while we blame you for what we're gonna do. And so that's how it happened, ladies and gentlemen, right? So when I see the word Hamas, I know that it's a creation. You know why it's a creation? Because they got the ace card, right? The BB and company, they all say, well, look, if you go back into Genesis and you look under Hamas, it means violence. It means violence. And so they took that name. No, you gave them that name. You created the boogeyman. You created the enemy to serve your end and your agenda. You see? And so it's interesting that Hamas, you see in there the mass. And what do you think of when you think of the mass, right? You think of the Vatican. So if Hamas means the mass, then when they're calling the Sunday mass in all the Catholicism, then they're saying, yeah, the people that we're doing violence on, the little boys and girls that we take advantage of, the mom and pops we push out the window, that we wage war on every day because we got to wage war because we took a vow to wage perpetual war on mankind. You see, the mass, that's the Hamas, that's the violence. Hamas, violence. Wonderful day on planet Earth, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? And so that explains why okay, Geneva means, oh, you mean the place where they decided how they would wage war they'd all agree around in a round table in Geneva, Switzerland, and say, yeah, well, we're going to wage war, but we're not going to do this, or we won't do this. This is a little too nasty. We won't do that, but and we'll do this. And so the name, what does Geneva mean? Geneva? Hatred. Hatred. Yeah, they hate us, right? They're deciding how to wage war on us. And what does NASA mean? Right? Because they had the ultimate theater, right, of mind control. NASA means deception. Well, of course, they never went to the moon. You'd be loony to think they went to the moon. And then the first when they were changing into the true Christianity, the people of the way, into the government religion. So apparently the first guy, I don't know if it was in the East, just in the Eastern, or including the Vatican. I've still got more research to do, but the first guy that I can peg now as being the first real pope, not Peter, because that was, it's like 300 years later. Okay, and around 324 with Constantine, and then because they split the Roman Empire, they got the Eastern Empire, the Western Empire, and so what's going on in Italy if Constantine is over there in Turkey, right? Ashkenazi zone, and so the first pope that I can peg is, he's called Papa, and Papa means evil. Are you getting the picture, ladies and gentlemen? Huh? Are you getting the picture? And Bible. Of course, nobody tunes in. That's your problem. And Bible is, of course, yeah, the bib of the L, the covering. That'd be. And the reason I don't have an audience is because we get out, no algorithm. And people think I'm crazy. Oh yeah, well, don't listen to that guy. You don't know what he's talking about. And yeah, they said that their mind control program will be so great. Anybody who tried to deflect from it, people would think they're crazy. Absolutely, that's part of their game. They've done such a great job. They are so perfect in their own right at what they do, ladies and gentlemen. It's a mind blower. Okay, so yeah, that's okay. They're coming for me anyway, one way or another. They've done it before, 20 years ago, fell victim to a government sting operation. Nothing new under the sun. And I'm just very fortunate, because I've always had a deep connection with the spirit of the Father, and in spite of myself, was on the mission, wanting to bring truth to my fellow friends around the world, and to also define for myself so I could be set free from their machinations. And by the way, while I'm going through, well, I'll tell you what, before we take any callers, I do have to get Elisa taken care of, because she was, I think, driving in a car. Are you still there, Elisa? She may have had to go. She was probably waiting on me because I told her I was going to open with that. Sorry about that, Elisa, but let me get to it right now. I got to open up your Skype. You don't have to share screen, Ninja. I'm just going to go get her Skype, and how am I going to do this now? Okay, open over there. Excuse me. Okay, so Lisa, and at least I'm entertaining, right, ladies and gentlemen? And you're not bored, right, with me, right? I mean, at least if I throw a little entertainment in there, people can laugh at me and think, what's this guy now, right? Nobody wants to talk to me. You're not bored. Well, you see, Ninja, she don't have a life either. That's her problem, just like me. And
True,
therefore figured,
true.
hey, if this ain't a good place to hang out, I don't know where else is. So she's been with me for about 4 years now. And she got bored with watching the sky, like a lot of the sky watchers. Oh, isn't that another interesting cloud? Yeah. Hey, look at my cloud. Oh, okay. I can't figure that one out, But instead of talking about important things, they're wasting their time looking at the sky. And our clock is ticking. The most precious thing you have, friends, is time. The most precious thing you have other than your own life is your time. That's next. Your life is first. Your time is second. And if the clock is ticking, you hear it? Listen. Those are those seconds ticking away, and you got to figure things out, and you got to be right. And otherwise, then you're really counting on the grace of the Father. I got to guarantee you, and that His grace is great. But you know what? A lot of people aren't going to feel very good when they stand before Him, after they breathe their last breath, because they'll know that they should have done better, could have done better, and and so, my heart goes out to the people of the world. Look, for all that I know, I'm still working on self. I still struggle, and part of it is the oppression and persecution. It makes it tougher. You don't want to live anymore, and therefore, what's it matter? What's it all matter? But it's a test. It's always a test. That's the example we had when Abraham, out of the book of Jasher, was thrown into the fiery furnace for 3 days, 3 nights. 3 days, 3 nights. That's in the book of Jasher. Abraham, and by Nimrod. And then he comes out and he's honored by Nimrod and he sent along his way. Nimrod even gives him his best slave, servant, who was Eleazar. Eleazar was the servant of Nimrod before he became servant of Abraham. And the lion's den, Daniel going in the lion's den. And then his 3 brothers, thrown into the fiery pit, and they come out, unhinged. And so the Father is telling us by these pictures, these are the extremes, but how many other stories as well, right? And some in the Apocrypha, like the other book of Daniel that originally was in the book of Daniel, but taken out. What was it? The Susanna, the book of Susanna. How she was set up by 2 judges, by 2 judges to have sex with her, or they will say that she was involved in some illicit act, and they will frame her, and so she wouldn't buy into it and said, do what you're going to do. I'm not going to have nothing to do with you. And Daniel figured it out. Daniel it's really a great short read. If you want to read it, that's the Susanna. And so we're facing our tests, ladies and gentlemen, every day, and we have to know the truth, because to know the truth is to know who you are and know the great Spirit of life that made all things, because you can see Him. You can see the great Spirit in everything, and you can read the book and you can get that the great Spirit wrote a book for you, and you can look up in the sky and see the pictures in the stars and know that, hey, wait a minute, there's got to be a greater power, because how can those stars up there be random and make all of those pictures? The Big Dipper, Little Dipper, Orion pointing his bow and arrow at the pyramid, the letter A, the alpha, not a bull. They want you to think it was a bull, but that's a deception again. They're always doing it, right? So anyway, yeah, I know I get on a roll, but it is an egg roll, and I'm happy to do it, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, I hope you're entertained at least. Okay, but the information, you know what I'm telling you. I know what I'm talking about, and because I've been doing it a long time, and I've got experience. Road Scholar, on the road, 2 organizations, and United Truckers Road Scholar, coast to coast, interviewed people all over the place, people running for president, like who was that? Charles, can't remember his name now, but he in Georgia had a 5-mile ranch. He said, my ranch goes about 5 miles that way and go about 5 miles this way. Really? Oh, wow. And so we took him out to barbecue, me and David Ames Jr., who he was a genius, and he he was putting liens on judges, and so they kidnapped him and they killed him in a mental hospital. But Stephen Ames Jr., absolute genius. My friend Mickey Paletta, who used to actually play bass for the Beach Boys, Mickey told me he was a friend of Stephen Ames, and he says that he could go into a law library with Stephen, and he could say the case for Stephen, and Stephen could go to the very book and pick it off the shelf. So clearly Stephen was a genius, and he was also raised in the Illuminati front, but he was never used because he was probably too smart. But yeah, so they had to kill him. That's what they do to people, when they're not with the program. And but anyway, rest in peace, Stephen. And Stephen, speaking of Stephen Jacobson, who does our opener, ladies and gentlemen, please create light for Stephen. He absolutely needs prayers because he seems to be on his last leg. His email came back when I sent out this blast on yesterday. The email came back, and that doesn't happen. So I feel that I've got to give him a call to make sure he's okay. But I think he may be not available. So thank you for that. I'm last, like the last of the Mohicans from the last century. All the great researchers from last century are now gone. It looks like I don't have any even former radio host friends I had and everything. It's really amazing. But anyway, enough of me, enough of that. Let's go to the questions. Elisa said about a week ago, I have a few questions. So she says, where did the, I guess she's spelling the word Aryans. She's Aryans, yeah, Aryans, different spelling. Where did the Aryans come from? Well, the Aryans, were the first made on Earth. That was Adam. Adam was a blonde hair, blue-eyed, white skin. And when we're talking race, we're not saying that one race is better than another. It's just that the race of the Aryan race had a special purpose. That's what it was. And so the Aryan race represented the sun, what were classically called sun gods and sky gods, or children of the sun, or seed of light. All of these terms, which was then by the occultic converted into aliens. They didn't want you to get the picture of the Aryan race, so they converted to aliens. But look, change one letter in alien, the L, the royal vowel in alien, change the L to an R, or the secret royal vowel R, and you get Aryan. Alien is Aryan. See, there you go. Right in your face, but most people will never figure it out unless they tuned in here. So the Aryans, the first made was Adam. The first made on Earth before anything else was made, the Aryan race was made. But then he's taken up to the throne of the sun, falsely called Eden, because it's the atom. The sun, the great logo, the sun, is also called the atom, because that which is the greatest represents that which is the smallest. It's the garden of atoms. And so, while it says in our Genesis, you can go read it, it said that Yeshua wanted to, when he breathed the breath of life into him, he wanted to see what he would call everything. So Adam is taken up into the atom, atom, falsely called Eden, and while Yeshua is making all things on earth, Adam is naming all things. Okay, let me take a sip of my drink here. And so, so then that which is following the maxim, because it's a prevalent maxim within all creation and in the bigger picture, that which is first on earth, which is Adam, A-D, correctly A-D-O-M, not A-D-A-M, but Adom. Dome means judgment, and that's why you see a dome on all the courthouses and the capitals, because dome means judgment. And so he is a conscious creation that has the ability to make choices. He's not an animal. And so that who is that which is first made, the Aryan race, ultimately comes last after everything else was created. Now, all of nature did evolve. Okay, we're not a part of this world, so we did not evolve. But you can look at nature, and you can see how nature has evolved. I mean, that's not hard to deal with at all. The dinosaurs today have evolved into birds, and you and things that get into isolation evolve, like in the Grand Canyon, right? There one time there was no canyon there, and there were squirrels, but then the canyon broke apart. It was a great inland flood that created the canyon. It happened by a catastrophe, a water catastrophe that flushed down through there and started it, and the big chasm. And then the squirrels on the northern canyon evolved and became different than the squirrels on the southern canyon. There were two different types, but they were of the same origin. So evolution's all around us. And you'd have to close your eyes real hard not to see evolution and the whole creation that we're talking about, as it says. And Fenton got it right. He says that that creation evolved over 6 great periods. 6 great periods, and that's also in the Mayan tradition as well. And so we're talking 6 billion years. Those are the 6 great days, the 6 great ages. Period means great age. The dot means age. And so the Aryan race comes last. And so he had all this knowledge that he had while he was with Yeshua making all things, and while he was, that's how he knew that the zodiac goes around in 25,000 years, 1 degree every 72 years, 360 degrees. What's that come out to? 72 times 360 equals 25,920 years it takes for us to go around the zodiac, all the constellations, 1 constellation every 2,000 years, thereabouts. And and so how could he know that? How could anybody know that unless it was the record of the great father, Adam, of the Aryan race? And so this knowledge that the Aryan race benefited from through their father Adam, who knew how the entire universe operated. Talk about a mathematician genius. What they use binary code to add things up. There's a guy on YouTube who shows people how to use the binary code. It's amazing. I've seen it several times. I still can't remember it, because you got to practice it and work with it. But so anyway, the point is that the story we've been handed is part true, but you got to know that the occultic gave us our translations. They used to burn us at the stake for reading it, but once they knew that they couldn't stop us from reading the book and the translations were getting out, then they had to do the next best thing, control the translations by controlling the words. They changed the words, they control the narrative, and so there's truth in there, and there's a lot of truth, but then there's the lie. There's the deception, there's the twisting, there's the changing of the words. Do you want original words, or do you want false narratives, false terms? And so this is the problem. Okay, so the Aryan race came here to bring truth to mankind, but then the fallen ones decided that they wanted to enslave mankind. They said, hey, look, we could have a party. We could, go hang out with all those redhead spotted women down there with the stain of blood with their father Cain, and we can have a party. We could be the priesthood. The Aryan race could be the priesthood. We'll make them our warfaring class and puppet kings, and we'll and then they'll work for us, and so we'll be protected. And and so they went all bore to and so they had the knowledge. They had the knowledge of that Adam gave to them, so they could cut stone. They, like nobody's business, they invented the anti-gravity Vimanas. The what we call UFOs. They've always been with us. They're not unidentified. They're from India. They're called Vimanas. There's even a flight manual called the Vimanika Shastra, tells you how to operate the Vimana, what to eat when you're on the road, and how high to fly, and look out for storms, and what to do if you get injured. And it's all there. And the Mahabharata talked about how they flew giants around the world. They flew giants around the world, and they could lift giant stones, and so they were the muscle. The giants were the muscle, and they were all around the world because they were using them for their own purpose to build pyramid civilizations all around the world. This is how it all started. This, and so anyway, I hope that answered your question. That's the shortest version I guess I could give you on that one, Elisa. But yeah, the Aryan race, she's gone now. I've waited too long. Sorry about that. But she'll listen to the replay. What are we at? 64 minutes, 1 hour into the broadcast. We can let her know. And but yes, she's working today, I think, or something. And she's out there in Wales. Boy, if I could only go over there, and I'd love to go through a castle. I've always wanted to check a castle out, but not my time and place on this planet. And but I go where nobody else goes quite often, and that's pretty exciting too. All right, so the next question: what was Tartaria? Okay, well, I know there's this guy doing it. I rarely watch his videos, but they come in and I always see it on the notice, and I've been trying to follow that a little bit, but it appears that because they're constantly readjusting things, hold on a minute. Because they're always adjusting, in other words, why every time there's a giant, when the giant bones are discovered and they give them to the Smithsonian, they disappear and they say there never were any giants, right? Why do they do that? Because they're controlling our history. They don't want us to wake up to the true nature of things, the way things really were. And so they're controlling our history by getting rid of certain things. And so apparently, like one I was just looking at the other day, they had these structures that they had built, like giant buildings, different types of buildings and structures, and they didn't want people to see the masterful workmanship that they had performed on these buildings, like with domes or spires or just stuff that they didn't want us to see. And so they then tore them down. They tore down many architectural structures, and they so they were always moving and shaking depending upon what they wanted people to see and what they didn't. And so they would, just like they built the Titanic to take down the wealthy in America, who would be in opposition to a centralized bank. And so they built what they claimed to be the unsinkable ship, get a Jesuit agent, the Captain Brown, on the ship, and they say, you go full steam ahead towards those icebergs and you don't stop for nothing. 8 warnings to slow down by his shipmates, and they keep on going. He never tells them to slow down. And so they build the unsinkable ship. Then they did it again with the Twin Towers, right? They build the tallest building in America, in the world, and there's 2 of them even. Wow, how cool is that? But that's your proverbial Twin Towers, is your Yakin and Boaz, the 2 columns, right? That they've been sacrificing, doing blood sacrifices on for thousands of years. In between, they put their babies through the fire above the altar, which is between the two columns, which represents sun and moon, creation. So it's a ritual of being born again, but instead of being born by water through the sacred tradition that Yeshua introduced, they were born again through the fire. Well, that makes sense. That means they want to go back to the fire. And in fact, they want to create the fire. They love it so much, they'll be happy to fire at you if they get an opportunity, So so anyway, that's that. So Tartaria, they're trying to say that a lot of civilizations, were half buried under mud, flooding and stuff. And sure, that happened. Then they just built up on higher ground. They did that in Rome, right? They would constantly build on top of the more ancient civilization. Fill it in with dirt, boys. Fill it in. Now let's build a new foundation. So yeah, that stuff goes on, but they're making too much out of it. I mean, they're looking at architecture. They ought to be looking at the spirit. They ought to be looking at the one who made all things and go to him, because everything's interesting, but it can't give you life. If it can't give you life, it's not worth much. Okay. Was Atlantis? The next question was Atlantis and Lemuria real? Well, Atlantis describes how that old world was destroyed with the flood. The flood was the Mediterranean Sea. And and so Lemuria, I think they're touting that there was some island maybe in the Indian Ocean. Some are saying, in the Atlantic Ocean. But basically, the old world, the old civilization, which was predominantly below what we call Egypt today, which was Mitzrayim, and below what we call Israel today, but was, the lower valley before the Mediterranean Sea was there. It was a paradise, and there was gold there, and there was, all the way to the Atlantic Ocean. But then when Africa and Europe split apart, the floodwaters rushed in, and it filled up the entire Mediterranean basin. Mediterranean mean sea in the middle of the land, Mediterranean, middle of the land, and that's why in our scriptures it says that that in those that one of the descendants right after Noah, after the flood, was called Peleg. And they said he was called Peleg because the earth was divided at that time. That's what it means. The earth was divided how? By the Mediterranean Sea. Okay? And in fact, there was so much water that came in, it flowed over into the Black Sea, and the Black Sea became twice as big. Okay? And so there's 200 civilizations underwater below the Mediterranean Sea, 200 civilizations, cobblestone road, and it's illegal to go skin diving there, by the way. You can't go scuba diving there; it's illegal. They don't want you to see it. And there's 200 there's cobblestone roads that go right off of the island into the water in all these different places, And so so I claim that the word it's a metaphor. Atlantis is a metaphor for how the old world, one world order, was disrupted, not totally destroyed because they were all around the world, but it was the base of operations, and that killed the majority of the giants because that was the prime hub, right there in between Europe and Africa. And so they drowned. The majority drowned. We see the real remnants of them, like on the island of Malta. But Susan went to on Long Island. Susan from Long Island just recently, a couple weeks ago, went to Italy, and she told me where she was on Skype, and I did a search for that area, and there came this elephant, this old elephant that was clearly pre-flood. You had to look at it real hard to see the elephant, and how could a statue, a giant monument of an elephant, be on the peninsula of Italy, right? Well, it's because at one time all those animals used to come right up into Europe. You see, and so anyway, that's the short answer again. This is turning out to be quite a presentation today. I hope I get to my reading. I may have to put it up till next week, but I want to answer friends' questions. That's what I love to do, is to help them on their journey. Because I've already studied I've been studying nonstop basically for 50 years now. And started at age 14 with ancient history and the Mayan and Aztec civilizations, and then scriptures by age 16, read them. So that's been a long journey. And the Father is a revealer. It's not like I'm so smart. The Father is a revealer, and he gave me the ultimate download. Because, and not because I was worthy of it. He always put me at the right place at the right time, to meet the right author. When I was a radio host, I interviewed authors of books. How'd you like to just interview the author of a book and be able to ask him any question you want to ask him and get the answer, right? That's what happened to me. So the opportunities that I had were great. And so where was I going with that? I forgot. Okay, I'm on the aluminum. All right, so we'll go to what?
Can I just say thank you? That was fascinating. And they were really good questions. So thank you to Eliza as well.
Great. And of course you had open mic, right?
Yes.
All right. Okay, very good. We're going to have to figure a code word out for that, so I'm always wondering.
How about open? Mic is open.
Oh, just say open. Open. All right. Okay, here we go. So the next one is the race of giants. The race of giants, were they real? Yeah, well, I think I just answered that question in everything we were just talking about on several issues. So the giants, and they came in all sizes apparently too, and how that happened, You know, I used to think it was the curse that was on the Celtic or the what we call Irish today, but you know, the redhead spotted, um, previously Celtic, for killing technology, the technology to kill, because that's what the fallen ones made them, was the frontline warfaring class. So they had to kill. That's why they were Celtic, because they had the technology to kill. And even the Scottish Rite still wear their kilts today because they intend to kill you, just like the Grand Poobah today of Freemasonry, who just recently passed away, Prince Philip, husband of Queen was it Queen Elizabeth? Elizabeth, thank you. Yeah, you know, he said he was about to die, and he says, and he's the head of International Freemasonry, and he says, when I die, I want to come back as a virus. Yuck, yuck. Get the picture? You know, I think he did, right? That was another joke they intended to play on us. He probably may not have died. You know, he may have went to Switzerland to eat caviar in his retirement and read the newspaper. You know, it's no telling, but it's really amazing, these people, ladies and gentlemen. They have the technology to kill the Celts. They're still wearing their kilts today. And all right, so continuing here, we're almost done. So Nostradamus, was Nostradamus an insider? Yeah, he was. He wrote in what they called the quatrains. He wrote, and I read some of it because I had to prove it out. I had to read something before I could talk about it, and so that's why I covered the gamut of literature. But basically, Nostradamus was an insider, an occultist, and therefore he may have been predicting some other timeline for the future. I can't say anything about that because I'd have to go read that stuff again. So it's possible that from an insider standpoint, he was pointing towards the future and trying to predict certain things that he knew. Maybe he hung out with Francis Bacon, you know, who was another one who coined the term the New Atlantis, which was basically the Americas. There's your Atlantis again, right? The New Atlantis. What was the old one? Like I said, under the Mediterranean Sea. It disrupted the entire world civilization. That's why, because when they said, you know, Atlantis was in a circle, well, no geographical location like that is in a circle, but the world is a circle. So it's the circle of the pyramid civilizations in all parts of the world. Okay, so Nostradamus. What's in? Look at that. Look at the word. Okay, let me put it in the chat. This is the thing I've had forgot. Then I just noticed it. Okay. Oh, come on. I gotta. I better copy it. I can't. It disappeared, and I can't spell it. And okay, we'll do it this way. Copy. And Control V. Okay. And so Nostradamus. And what does it mean? What do you think, Ninja? Nostra? You think? What do you think that is? Okay, here we go. Well, you'll get it. All right. It's knowledge of the demon. Knowledge of the demon.
Wow.
Meaning the dark culture. Right now you can see it, right? Nostra,
Yes.
demon. Gnosis, demos. Okay. So there we go. And so yeah, so he's working for the demonic culture. So let's see here. We got what is the real significance of Stonehenge? Well, okay, I can actually, I've got that in one of my books. Let me just do that. And it's under the thesaurus here. Let me go to the back. Okay, this one is the from the Original Thought Indo-Germanic Aramaic Etymological Dictionary Thesaurus, first edition. That's the one I did in 2020. And so I have in the back of the dictionary a couple pages dedicated to numbers. No, that's the wrong one, actually. Not that one. Let me see here. 2018. Let me try that. That's the Original Thought Dictionary Thesaurus, 2018. Okay, getting warm. Let's see here. I know what I got in one of them. Hold on. Jeez. All right, here we go. So let me see if I got number 56 in this one. 7. 56, yep, here we go. So 56, this is the perfect lunar cycle. The number of Aubrey holes in the Aubrey circle at Stonehenge, which is 288 feet, 208, and that's another one of my numbers. I was born in 1956. I find that interesting. Then 288 keeps coming up in my story, and also 88 by itself. Let's try this again. The number of Aubrey holes in the Aubrey circle at Stonehenge, which is 288 feet in total diameter, and the number of restoration. So it's a number of restoration, 288, or 56 maybe. That's probably what it meant. Which is, no, I guess 288 is the number of restoration because 8 is the number of return. A double 88, as it's saying 2 8s, 288. Therefore, 8 is going back to where, it implies going back home, going complete cycle, complete turn. And so the 56 Aubrey holes served as a computer by using them to count the years. The Stonehenge priests could have kept accurate track of the moon and so could have predicted danger periods for the most spectacular eclipses of the moon and sun or other periodic cosmic events. In fact, the Aubrey circle could have been used to predict many celestial events. It is said of the Stonehenge priests that he who would track the moon would use a 56-year cycle. It will be recalled that the connotations of 7 and 8 in connection with 15, that is 7 plus 8 equals 15, introduced the perfect application of divine grace using issuing in glory. Glory would be illumination. Issuing in illumination, that's what it should say. That being true, the same connotations by multiplication in connection with 56, 7 times 8 equals 56, would greatly intensify the significance of both 7 and 8. In the book of Revelation, the phrase, I saw, get this, occurs 56 times. So there you have it, Eliza. I hope that enlightened your day today while you're out there in that beautiful green, lush land and rolling hills in Wales. Okay, a very interesting place over there. And hey, Jones, good to have you. Stephen in Gods for Glory. Okay, right in front of our face. Okay, I don't know what that was a comment to, but anyway, good to have you, Stephen. What? Oh, Nostradamus. Yeah, knowledge of the demon, right? And then he says, hey, Ninja, and it's been a fascinating show. Okay, well, glad to have you, Stephen. He's got these beautiful, beautiful. Oh, that last one he did on Colorado. Oh, those trees, they only turn like for 1 week. You got to see it at the right time in those trees in Colorado. He panned over with his drone, and it was like all these I guess they're oak trees or they aspens. They're probably aspens, and they're all orange, all bright orange. It was so beautiful. You got to go check out his last video, ladies and gentlemen. When the season is changing, they say you can only capture it for about a week and then it's gone. It comes and goes real quick over there. And I used to live in southern Colorado, so that's why they call it colorful Colorado. And Sandra, good to have you. Is it just me, or does the ritualistic symbolism stuff has it been increasing lately within the popular culture with entertainers, concerts, performers, and so many famous people displaying? Yeah, well, I think it's more intensified because they brought more idiots into the occultic realm, and they get off on knowing secret symbols. Oh, this is another secret one here. Let me give it to you. And so they're into. Oh, you're welcome, Elisa. Good to have you. Yeah, and so so they're just. Were you there for the whole presentation? I guess you were, hopefully. And anyway, you can hear the replay. But yeah, that's all. But when you add the media, all the ways of being, the iPhones and everything, then. And the secret societies, they got their, and they're being lied to about the symbols. That's what's funny. They're told, oh, let me give you another secret. This is what the symbol means, but don't tell anybody because, you're in the 10th degree now. So don't tell anybody down in the lower degree. They're just the puppy dogs and stoops and poops. But you're special now because you're a 10th degree Freemason. And then so they're told that this is what the symbol means, but then when they get to the higher degree, up to the 18th degree, then all of a sudden, no, remember we told you the symbol meant that? No, that's just a lie. It really means this now because you're higher up and you're more special now. So therefore, let's tell you what the secret symbol really means. But we lied. Sorry, dog, we lied to you again. And now that you're up here at the 30th degree, and that's just, all of these, all right, talking about symbolism, Sandra, right? On the back of the dollar bill, there's that pyramid, right? On the left-hand side, we see the classic pyramid with the eye at the top. Let's ask the question. The question is this: how many pyramids are on the back? And Elisa says, yes, you heard it all, and we'll have to listen again. You bet. You're welcome, Elisa. Thank you for giving me some food for thought. And so the question is, how many pyramids are on the back of the dollar bill? And look at it real close, because the answer is not one pyramid. There are two pyramids. And there's there's a separation at the top. And they got what they call the all-seeing eye in there, but that represents the Father of Light. The occultic took on the clothing of our spiritual tradition, and they want to claim to be the all-seeing eye, but the seeing eye, the sun represents the Great Spirit, the Father, right? And so, where was I going with this now? So when you look at the pyramids, there's two. So you got the lower pyramid, which are the building blocks in the pyramid, and that's all the Masons throughout history, and all the other dupes and spoops and tupes and whatever you want to call them, the slaves, because that's what they really are. They're a slave because they're actually doing the job. They're doing the job because in the duality, you have to have both light and darkness in order to have this creation. And so they chose to be of the darkness, and so they're the scapegoat, and they are the slave. But so with two pyramids there, you got the upper pyramid, right, where the eye is, and it's shining. You can see the rays of the sun from behind it, right? It's a sun symbol, and that's the letter A. But below it is the lower pyramid. And so what it's telling you is there are two pyramids, and that some people are only the elite, only the few are in the upper pyramid where they can see everything. That's the all-seeing eye, you see, in this instance, because it's not the original idea. It's their idea. And that's why when you go into the Vatican and you look in the central dome, right? What's in the central dome? All of these eye sockets all around the dome looking down at you, you see? And so there's your occultic expression of the eye, And so anyway, was I answering somebody's question? I forgot what I was doing. My head is spinning today. I've never given out. Of late, I feel like I haven't given out this. Oh yeah, the symbolism. Yeah. So thank you, Sandra, for bringing that on. Okay. And what we're going to do now, we're going to go to a break, and then when we get back, I know Thea's been chomping at the bit. She may have had to do housework or something, or tend to her grandbabies. But we're going to bring on now, and I can mark the time. We're 88. Oh, look, there's that number 88. How appropriate. 88 minutes into the program. And when we get back, we're going to reveal some more of that hidden woman. And is she supposed to be hiding? I thought maybe we were supposed to be able to see the woman, since she looks so good. But apparently, somebody wanted to hide her from us. So we'll get into it, and it's all in the words, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll bring up my Word document, and we'll do some bigger words on the screen for that. Okay. So glad you tuned in. Hope you are telling your friends about the broadcast. Nice to have some friends here today that are actually getting it. And so I'm Dezert-Owl, and I'll be back, okay, unless they come and grab me in the meantime, and break down the door. But otherwise, I will be back, ladies and gentlemen, with what they didn't want you to know, that we tell right here, because somebody's got to do it. Don't go away. Just call your friends, all right? Let's have a revolution in thinking. Okay. And I see, and welcome back to Forbidden History Live, the series, ladies and gentlemen, on Ask Desert Owl, what they didn't want you to know, but we tell right here, and the Original Thought Transliteration Project, OTTP. And you know, we need to do everything we can to fight I'm talking to myself now. Hang on. I forgot to turn that mute on. And yeah, so, you know, when you're going to Taco Bell, you need to have some backup, Stephen. So don't forget to check out IC Immune. I'm taking it every day, the IC Immune. And then they have another product as well called Viral Halt. Viral Halt. We'll need to create a graphic for that, Ninja, as well, so we can show both of these products, because they've got some cutting edge with the humic acid, fulvic acid, and all that. They've got some really good product here. The zeolite in the IC Immune is key, because it gets out all the different particles that are harmful to your body. And live stream, we're offline. We're back on. Are we? Ninja, are you there? Ninja. All right. You're breaking up a little bit. Am I breaking up? All righty. Okay, we'll keep on going then. All right. So anyway, go to the website and check it out, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you for doing that. Tell them you heard it here. They're not sponsors. They're just friends that you know, are doing a great work, and I want to share. I've been doing health and nutrition all my life, and had 2 health programs, so I know something that's good. And so definitely check this out to give yourself an edge for what's coming down. Okay. And also, I just want to mention as well that Ninja's getting into the summertime here. She moved to a new location, and she's got no air conditioner in her flat, and so she literally has to go out. And what? Well, caravan. I'm using your terminology, okay? Flat. You all use that over there. So I was trying to be Aussie, okay? Can you let me be Aussie? All right, caravan. so so it's worse because it's got a metal roof, and there's no attic, and so therefore it's so hot that yeah, she has to get out, and so it's hindering our work. And if there's any way you could help her, we're trying to raise $400 for her, U.S. That's U.S. funds, $600 Australian, and to help her so she can stay in and do the work that we need her to do. So okay, if there's any way you can help, all the donations will go to help Ninja at this time. Okay, so let's see, where are we? Okay, we're back on the program. I'm still looking at IC Immune, Ninja, and we're gonna do.
Okay, hang on.
We're gonna do the Hidden Woman, and Thea got me started on this last week, and oh, I hate being called Des, Stephen. Okay, I don't want people to start picking up on that. All right, please. It reminds me of Des Yarnez, that guy, Lucy, and all that. No. All right, so I think my cards are relatively in a good order. So the hidden woman. So I'm going to go to, what am I going to do here? Okay, I'll go. This is a word production now. So let me minimize. Okay, I can pull this up. Very good. Very good. The Word document. We're going to do screen share now, Ninja. So anyway, we're going to shift from the desktop to the words. I got to scroll down. Gee, I got to keep making space for all this. Come on. Delete. All right, very good. And I'll just forget that, clean up, and just get back down to the bottom here. All right, there we go. All right, so we're in the last program we talked about Santa Claus and how Santa Claus is really the hidden woman because Santa is feminine, and so throughout the week, I was thinking of other ways they hid it in words, and nobody ever sees it. They're never tipped off to it.
Zoom, please?
Okay, thank you.
No worries.
Not worried. Okay, is that good enough? I got to get some light now.
Yes, that's a lot better. Thank you.
I'm going to need sunglasses for this. All right, hang on. All right. Better? So does that look like the standard that we usually do? Let me look at the screen.
Yeah. Are you at 98?
Well, I guess it's going to pop up here in a quick second. I'm going to look. Yeah, I was at 190. So I got more room. I got more margin room, right? I can go a little further for people on a phone device.
Well, yeah, we had to readjust it like in the OBS, so that is a different size now as well. So right. It looks good anyway. It looks good from my end.
So if I go, we might as well start right. So we'll double check here. Minimize. Okay, she should be popping up because you're. Now we're looking at. Okay, here we go. Come on, bump it up. Come on. Here we go. Okay, that would be the better way. Full screen. People on a phone device is going to have trouble looking, but we'll try to work this out. So let me go back. All right, we're good to do it. So we're going to start with I think the most appropriate word, and it's the word father, because we're talking about the hidden woman, right? So let's type father. FAR. And tell you what, while we're doing this presentation, if somebody wants to call in, I'll open the lineup because that'll give my voice a little break as well. But if anybody wants to call in on any topic, it don't matter. Call in at 608-566-7295, 608-566-7295, or Skype is, if you want to call in on Skype, that's the best quality. Free America Radio, all one word, Free America Radio. And Lynn's not with us today, by the way, because she's moving to Kentucky. So we want to wish Lynn all the best in her move. And so she'll just be right below me, right there in Kentucky. She was on the the east side of me, but now she's going south of me here. She was in Pennsylvania. Transylvania. Okay, so let's do father. And so see, the woman is hiding right there, right in here. Oh, you can see her. Her is there. Oh, fat her. She's the fat mama. No, I never saw that one before, but it's there. Okay, and but here's the way it would be in the original thought. Remember, we got to go back to original root form, and we're talking the. I'm digressing from the use of Indo-Germanic because Germanic is really the seat of the moon, right? That's the occultic. The Germans are the Jews, right? Basically, and so the more other correct term is Indo-European or Indo-Aryan. And I probably should use Indo-Aryan because, you know, you don't want to be a peon either, if you know what I mean. They've really messed up all the words. So Indo-Aryan is probably the best way to put it. And I'm moving to, you know, the proper terms continually, you know, having to redirect myself because it's a continual process of discovery. We've been robbed. So we're discovering the original. So look at this. This is the correct terminology for father. It's Faethor, you see? And so the Fae is the woman. And the I'm going to put something above that. And so look, this is interesting because we're talking about spirit. So the power of the Fae is the woman, right? And that's literally what that means. Where do I want to go here? So just want to, you see feather, is there an A in there? Feather, F-E-T-H?
Yes,
they spell feather.
There's an A. You had it.
There is an A.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, they messed me up in school. Okay, so the Fae is the woman. Okay, so it's the woman of power. Thor is Thor, is thunder, you know, torrential, tornado, you know, all those things are in there. So it's power. And so the woman of power, what is the power? Okay, because we're going back to original or most primitive in the idea, and it is the I love these senior moments. The faith or the power of the okay, yeah, the original is the virgin light. Okay, so when we're talking, so in other words, if we point to the logo is the sun, and the sun is a symbol, right? And it's also we could call it the house of the spirit, because the spirit is emanating through that device, through the Garden of Atoms. And oh, in fact, we were going to show while we're there, Ninja, can we bring up that piece by while we're right there by
yes, I have to stop the screen share to do it.
Yeah, that's fine. Mr. MBB, we're going to go somewhere because since I was doing this discussion, I thought, well, let's show the beginning of, you know, the progression of the hidden woman, because in the first instance, she's the virgin light, and the virgin light is the sun, right? That's the representative, that's the logo, the symbol. But yet the light is a power source, right? Obviously, we know that. It turns on our lights every day. It makes everything live. And so
it's up.
Yeah. So I'm trying to remember where I was going. So the sun is the virgin light. And so we're going to show you how the sun made the earth. It's the mother star. Okay? And so you see the umbilical cord, a round orb connecting with the sun through a 100,000 mile long umbilical cord, 100,000 mile long, and it's feeding it. It's feeding the orb, and now it's ready to detach, and it's going to detach from that and drift off. It's going to drift off in space. And so in the beginning, in the primordial, the first planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, the moon, all of them came out from the sun. It's the mother star. And so So the sun is the mother, and it's the virgin light. So it's the mother and it's a virgin at the same time. A virgin is the metaphor because it's pure. It's pure in what it's doing in its creation. And then it's bringing forth another female, and the female is the earth. And so we have two mothers in the story. We got Mother Earth and we got the virgin light. You see, and the Mother Earth. So the light stays virgin. The light stays pure because it's all encompassing. It's not male nor female. It is beyond the male female. And so we can see that it represents a seed. It represents the seed in the cosmos, and it's bringing forth life. And so in this harvest is bringing forth a planet. And so the planet is the material realm. And so it's in between sun and moon. Sun is on one level, one end of the spectrum, and the moon is the dead star at the other end of the spectrum. In the middle is the earth. And this is how life unfolds, ladies and gentlemen. And Spicy, good to have you. Hey, Desert and Ninja Cat, sharing far and wide. Sometimes I get mocked and scoffed, but I don't care. Well, I'm in the same boat, Spicy, so don't worry about it. I like sharing the truth. Absolutely. Good to have you. And so we'll go back now. I think you've probably replayed that thing already, Ninja, or is it played out? Is that played out already? If not, then play it out, okay? And let me know when it's done.
It's still going.
Still going.
Yeah, it's still
okay,
going.
I think we played enough of it because we want to get back into the words now. So that was good enough. Thank you. And
okay, just so 1 second multitasking.
And so think of the miracle of the Heavenly Father allowing us to be there at the right moment to capture that on film, ladies and gentlemen. Then for allowing me to be able to see it also, because not everybody has seen this. So the miracle is he's pointing, and he's showing us how the solar system was made. Everything goes around the mother, and now the mother has to deliver the baby to the spirit, and so that's the whole cycle. Okay, that's that 288 from the 56 we were reading about with the symbolism. Okay, so the Faithor, the father, is the feather, and the feather is spirit. So let me just forward that there, S-P-I-R-I-T. And then the father is the Faithor, and then the Faithor. So in other words, we're saying father and we mean masculine, but in the word Faithor, it's feminine. You see, there's your duality. So it's the material and it's the spirit coming together in one word. So you're saying father, but you also mean the mother of power, the woman of power. And so this is a mystery. And if you stay tuned, you'll be able to follow along because we talk about these things a lot. And then new people coming in don't get the benefit of hearing some of the things we've already talked about. So this one is a good one. I saw this after the program last week. I believe it was. Grammar, G-R-A-M-M-E. Is that correct, Ninja?
Yes.
All right, good.
Your grammar is correct.
All right. Thank you. Okay. So our grammar is our grandmother. It would be, the terminology more correctly would be G-R-A, as we spell it. There's no good spelling because it's all been corrupted. But I'm just showing you, the grain mother. That would be more appropriate. But the grain is built on the word gran as well. It may have two N's on it in the original because of that's typical. Like man, M-A-N, was originally spelled M-A-N-N, but it's not a good word. It's for reflection of the moon, and it's showing the duality. But so the grain mother, so that will do it both ways, and is also that's why it's hard, to go back completely because we're so entrenched in the modern form. And we first have to pick out the corrupt letters, that don't belong there, like the letter A, the letter D. If you're grand, you're not dead, and the D is the dead letter. And the G, it was original third letter of the alphabet with the Z, the Zorro. So it's something beyond grand. And it's the zero. Oh, well, that's what it would be then. Let me look at this. Hang on. Sorry for drinking on the mic, but it's easier, quicker. So the grand, like, would be, oh yeah, I'm getting it now. Here it is, Zar. Look at this, TZ, AR. There it is, Zaran. The Zar is a star, and An is the An means harvest, and also means it's An is also I'll put it underneath the A and D. You see, A and D is correctly. That's the correct. That's because you see, and means more than one, right? It means, oh, another one. Okay, and another, and another. But the D is death and destruction. So it literally means end. And they shoved it down our throat, you see? And the correct one is and an means, you see? So here, AND is our end as a code, but ANN means more than one. Why? Because you got two N's. So that's the symbolism for more than one, come down. You see, it's the sliding board, meaning that which comes down. And what comes down? The grain, the rain. There's the word rain. In the rain, it's called sun rain. And therefore we want to have a harvest, but they want to end the harvest, end it, you see? And so there's tricksters. So let's save that. And so let's go down to the next one. So that's your grammar. So what is your grammar? So what we're speaking is our great mother. Grammar, we'll use the little color there. It's to highlight it. She's our grammar then is a grain. Each letter is and appropriately in between the Virgin light, because it is the seed of light. So it's A, V, Z, then the D, that's the darkness. The first three letters, symbols of light, E, A, B, C, D, E, F, no F, it was a PH. Okay, and so on and on. But I'm just showing you, you know, these are called the alphabet. I'll put it over here.
Can I ask you something about the Z?
Hold on. Yeah, okay. Let me just set it up. Alphabet. Okay, I forgot what I was putting there now. I'll remember it probably while you're talking, Ninja. What's up? What you got?
Okay, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. You just reminded me, in school, when we were taught the alphabet, I don't know if this is just an Australian thing. That's why I'm questioning as well, because I can see it. You'll know what I mean when I tell you. Quick example, the letter H, some people say H, like H or H. With Z, in school, it was like you had the option to say it how you wanted to. You could say Z or you could say Z, Z-E-D, remove Z. That's what I was seeing there. And I'm just wondering if you're familiar with that, or if that was just an Aussie thing, Z or Z.
Well, I don't know. You mean Z versus you saying Z?
Yeah, Z or Z pronunciation. We either or through school, like.
Okay. Right. Well, that's, yeah. They go in different directions sometimes, and some use one and some use the other.
Yeah, it's just I really see the Z pronunciation as not good because it's got the ED. You're removing the
Okay,
Z.
right, of course.
Yeah.
So Zay is better. Is probably Zay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the alphabet is the seed of light, and I can't remember what that other part now was. All right, we'll go on to the next word. And we have okay, okay, the Balfour Agreement. That was, I have a note here because I've been hearing lately about the Balfour Agreement with the Jews wanted to claim Palestine as their home and give themselves the false name of Israel. And and so it's just interesting that it's ball, like ball, you know. In other words, okay, so they call it the Bell. I think it's like this. What just happened? Oh, I'm on this. I'm not on the Word document. Okay. Wait a minute. I am on the Word document. All right. B-A Bell. B-E-L 4 F, and it is the number 4 meaning everywhere. 4 means everywhere. Bell for agreement. Okay. And so literally Balfour is a code, and it means, because belle is the woman. Remember the bell at the ball? The bell at the ball is the woman. And so, but see, we see this other word there as well. And so the four directions, we'll do it like this: ball, 4. Okay. Ball, and so meaning therefore bell for the woman, and their hidden, it's their hidden woman, and she is everywhere. Okay, everywhere. So that's the implication, and that's what the Jews are, right? They're everywhere, right? They've got autonomy. They can go wherever they want. Hey, you need a check? How much do you need? I can write a check. You know, just tell me what you need, and they can go anywhere. They're autonomous, and so the Balfour Agreement, you know, is that you know, from every direction, people can go there, and they are everywhere at the same time. So, you know, in other words, the pseudo state of Israel today is an extension of America. You know, America is an extension of the Vatican. They're one and the same. Is pseudo Israel or Vatican? They're all, it's all one club, but we see different aspects of it in the divisions. They're constantly creating fronts, like when they founded America in 1776, the Illuminati. I mean, you know, they created a front called Illuminati. That's when they created the Illuminati, on the very day they claimed to have found America, and they also claimed to have established international communism for the first time officially in May 1st, 1776. May Day, May Day, right? That's their code. May Day, May Day. And they do a parade, a May Day parade in Red Square, every May 1st, honoring international communism, when it's also the double-headed eagle, and they claimed America at the same time 2 months before the Jew lie. The Jew lie, get it? But it's on the 4th because it means every direction, the 4, okay? So you got to, so remember, signs and symbols. Confucius said signs and symbols rule the world, but what I know, they edited the quote, because it's correctly, signs and symbols tells you who rules the world. You've got to read the symbolism, as Sandra was posing the good question. You know, they're using it more today, but they've always been using it. No matter how you look at it, they've always been using symbol. And so here's another good one. F-E-D-E-R-A-L. I'm getting old, I got to tell you. I've been feeling it these days, especially with all the toxins coming at us. Okay, so here we got, okay, so der has been a code, like in the word spider, right? We get that der word, right? It is really der, or the spy. Okay, so spider is a code for the spy. And so in federal, we then have and we put the DER at the front, and it is the Fae is all. That's their mother, their woman. But she's a virgin, and so really she's become the whore. So appropriately, she should be spelled like that with the FE, because that's the whore. That's the fee. Oh yeah, that's where you pay the money, right? The fee. Maybe in French it's fifi. But of course, you know, you got to pay the Fed, and to be fed is to be fed all of their papal bull, right? And so anyway, you see, it's a play on words. But when I read the definition for federal, what was it? In my Bailey's 1721 dictionary, A B C D E F G F E. Let's see, because it was a pretty good definition. Oh, here, I even had the page tagged. Look at that. Oh, there's female. What's that say? Female of the she kind. Oh, that's interesting. She kind. Sounds like Shekinah. Sounds like second. But then there's fecund. Where is federal? F-E-D-E-R. I didn't highlight that. Come on. I know you're around here somewhere. F-E. Getting close. Okay, here it is. All right, federal. Okay, here it is. This, yeah, I forgot. Now I knew I had to go there. Okay, so what is federal? What does it mean? This is good. Okay, this is good. Federal, no, or maybe it's not good. That's the definition of federal 300 years ago, over 300 years ago in the 1721 Bailey's Dictionary. Okay, so it's a covenant. So wait a minute, a covenant? What, you mean like a coven? You mean like witchcraft? You mean like a contract? Maybe if we use the money, we agree to their terms and conditions. If they use their Federal Reserve note, a note which is a promise to pay, but you can never cash it in for gold or silver, a dollar which is round door and it has no connection with gold or silver. You know, money is the moon eye. So you know, it's not, again, it's not metal. So it's a covenant. You know, the greater implication is that what it implies, again, goes back to the Jew, right? And it means, and what it means is that it's about their covenant that they have made collectively as one group, who has throughout all time, as we talked about the fallen watchers in the beginning, earlier in the program, that's when it started, and they took their blood oaths right out the gate. I'm gonna, in a few weeks, I'll be finishing up the lost book of Moses, and in there it talked about how Cain set up the first secret society, and they took covenant blood oaths, secret oaths, where they would slit your throat if you told anybody, if you were in the covenant, right? And so this is where it goes back to. It goes back to that they have taken an agreement to wage war on mankind, and so they even have us using their paper, right? Even using their paper. The people who want to kill everybody else, that hate our guts, that follow the Babylonian Talmud, that call us goyim and cattle, and it's not murder to kill one of us, right? Just another damn planet Earth, ladies and gentlemen. And so here's another one. Okay, I hope you're all eating this up, because you're getting the hidden woman. What this presentation probably has never been done before anywhere, and you're getting it here because this is how they have hidden it from us, right? So you walk everywhere, right? And when you walk everywhere, Ninja, what do you take with you?
Um,
I gave you half the word. You see it?
your feet.
Thank you very much. Okay. And your feet, therefore, if it's a silent T, remember how we talk about the T is silent. So again, the T, the cross, as you hear me talk over and over, means everywhere, right? So the T is silent is hiding. When you silence the T, it reveals the other word, and it is the fee, but it is correctly, that's a corruption, and so it is the Fae. Okay, so why? Because if the Fae is creation, right, then you are the Fae. You are the woman by material creation. Matter is mother. Motor is mother. You are moving, active, and you represent the Fae. Okay, and so you are then more appropriately might be called the serpent Fae, because it's not the spirit. We're talking about physical creation. And so you are the serpent, because the body, the flesh, is the serpent. And this is what they, clearly hid away from us. Didn't want us talking about this stuff, but we're going to do it anyway. Somebody's got to. And so in the when you in the French, they go to the cafe, right? And so that's the okay, the ka, it has to do with, in this instance, has to do with darkness. So it is the, right, the dark Fae. We'll use the abbreviation in this instance. And you see three variables of the Fae. The Spanish spell Fe, and but in the French we got the Phi also, the two-letter Phi. And then so then the pH also is the more correct. But then look at what we get. What do we get when we go to the cafe? Oh, look at it. Even put the mark in front of it. Is that not clever, huh? That's that AI again. It never used to do that. Puts a slash mark right above the an accent mark right above the E. And so what do we get? Go to the cafe, you get the coffee. And so there's your dark Fae, right? Your dark Fae. So and it's okay, I got it. I missed one part and I got it written down right there. Okay, way to go, Desert. You got it right, just in time. Nick of time, secrets of time. The so the dark Fae, so the Kaf, okay, we'll do it like this. The Kaf, KHAPH, Kaf, PHAY. So what does that imply? Okay, the cover. The cover of the Fae. So what is the cover of the Fae? Where do I want to put this? Do it like this. The darkness. Are you getting the picture, Ninja?
Yes.
You
Yes, I
see?
am.
It's the dark Fae. In other words, they're claiming, the Fae represents the virgin light, but that they converted her into a whore. And so when they talk about the Fae, like in cafe or coffee, she is the cover for the Fae. The darkness is the cover. It means the dark Fae. The kaf is synonymous with the word cup. Okay, so also not only does it mean coffee, but it means cup. You see, the kaf, the cafe, the cup of the woman. So therefore, coffee would then also mean, isn't this fun?
Yes.
I love it. I love discovering these mysteries.
I love that you're sharing your discoveries.
They played the trick on us, but we could have some fun with it,
Yep.
and because this is what they didn't want you to know, but we tell right here. Woo! All right, somebody's got to do it, and so I know I'm crazy, but they're crazy also, right? Come on, go figure. to think that they're ambitious about slaughtering a planet, a civilization, around the world, that they intend to, they're just, sharpening their knives, just drooling at the mouth, thinking about how they're special and we're not, Oh, they're the chosen, yeah, but we're not. Well, the joke's on them. They are the slave. They are the slave, because what is the moon? Okay, the moon. Think about it. Think about it, because the sun is the light, right? So the moon represents the darkness, but the moon is necessary to create life on Earth, right? And so it's in the darkness. That's like the occult, right? And so the moon is well, that's what the Luciferian, they use the moon. That's their Lucifer, right? Lucifer. And so Mason, and so they call themselves Freemasons, right? But think about it, they're really slaves, right? Because they've taken blood oaths and covenants. Therefore they can't talk about these things by covenant, and if they do, they'll have their throats slit. And they follow their mother, which is not the virgin light, but the whore. That's why when you see the eclipse all the time, Ninja, are you able to pop that sun? That's okay. I can go get it. We're on the screen, so everybody can watch me do that. They won't be bored.
Okay, I have another question when you're ready.
Okay, hang on. I doubt if it's in. I'm gonna have to keep this in a folder. I can find it real quick here. Hang on. I just want to. This was the appropriate symbol. I've got to arrange my my folders. So, come on.
I know. I think I know the one you're looking for. Do you want?
Yeah,
me
the
to
black
get it?
sun. Yeah, if you can. Whoever gets it first wins.
Okay, we'll have to.
Okay, I think I got it. Okay, just hang on.
Okay.
Black sun. Here it is. See? Okay.
Okay.
All right. Oh, that doesn't have the eclipse. I didn't get it in that one. Of all things. Yeah. Well, that's okay. That's close enough. I'll just do it again. I'll do that. Okay. So if you see the symbol, I had a different symbol in it, but that's appropriate because that's the Vatican IHS. That's the Vatican with the three things. Okay. So here's full screen, and the word she is in there. If you change the I to an E, which is the law of anagram, you got she, so the woman, right? But it also, the three nails, represent the nailing, being nailed to the cross, being nailed, fixed permanently in this universe, so to speak. And so the direct swords that look like knives, they're straight. Those are the rays of the moon. And then every other one is a swiggly, like a fiery ember or fire coming off. That's the sun. So therefore it's telling you that this is the moon over the sun. They're eclipsing the sun. And so this is their true symbol in the idea of the darkness. Okay. So that's what that is representing. Anybody, needs any of this stuff, for them, hit me up by email and I can get it to you, or call me on Skype and I can get you these symbols. But we're just remember later on to pop. Well, I can find it in my folder. But anyway, that's to show you a little bit, graphically, because the graphics really carry the ball. You don't forget the image. Where I'm supposed to be on the Word document. Where am I? Where's my Word document? I hit the wrong one. Here we go. All right. So that's the Luciferian moon. So they are a slave, while they're claiming to be free and sovereign. Okay, if you don't do what the most worshipful master, the most worshipful monster tells you to do, you will be punished. So how can you be free and then you're obligated to a blood oath that tells you better do what you're told to do or we'll kill you? Right? Think about it. Right. So they're calling themselves free. They think they're special, but if they don't do what they're told to do, they're dead. And And so the moon is a slave. It's not hard to see that the moon is a slave because it serves a purpose, but it is not the light. It is a reflection of the light. That's why it looks so pretty in the darkness, right? It's looking good, but it's a symbol of darkness. And they're in the darkness. That's their cup of the woman, the Kaphe, the dark fae, because that's their true goddess, the darkness. And she's empty, she's void, because the first darkness is the empty space of the cosmos before the light entered in, and the Great Spirit says, let the light come forth, right? And so they're slaves because the moon is a slave, then they're a slave. The Luciferian Mason, slave. He's not going back to the light that they claim, that they like. What do you want, my son? Oh, I want a little more light, Grand Poobah. Can you give me a little more light? Yeah, here, let me give you a little bit of darkness. Manly P. Hall, 33-degree Mason, said, the Masonic light is darkness. Go figure, okay? Ninja, you had a comment or question?
Yes. I was just thinking with the sun and the moon.
You were thinking? Wait a minute.
Yeah, I know, and it's like
I was thinking too. You know,
it's nearly 2:30 a.m. and I'm thinking.
Sorry about that. I couldn't resist it. Go ahead. Need to, after all this death and doom, you know, it's nice to just joke a little bit. It makes you feel better.
Yeah, we need it. Sun and moon. Okay, so the sun's light is gold, and the moon, I was thinking of that song, the moon is silver, like by the light of the silvery moon or something like that. But yeah, sun gold, moon silver, and we have gold and silver, and they used to be like made the coins, like the gold and silver coins. Sorry, and I'm really showing how tired I am right now. Yeah, gold and silver coins, and the coins are round. So could that be where that came from, like making gold and silver coins?
Well,
round,
well, you see, Nate, okay,
sun and moon.
but the spirit, the spirit of life, the great Father of light, he made the two most precious metals, gold and silver. So naturally, they would be the two symbols representing both sun and moon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got it. Anything else?
Thank you. Yes, and gold is worth more than silver. So
because it's the light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everybody's got silver, but very few have gold. All right. Anything else?
No, that's all. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you. Good contribution. All right. And don't forget, if anybody has a comment or question, put the word question or comment in all capital letters, then upper and lowercase, you know, type it out, and then put 3 red question marks. And that's what Ninja was supposed to be doing. Of course, I wouldn't have seen it, so she had to jump in. But so that way, if Ninja sees you got a, you know, comment or question, she can let me know. But I even when I'm looking at the chat and there's only 1 red question mark, I've been missing Ninjas like on the last program. So 3 red question marks will help make it clear with the capital letter question or comment, okay? And the line is still open. Anybody can call in if you're saying, oh, come on, Desert, where do you get this stuff? You come on, you've been drinking a little too much, right? All right.
And I can't see the chat because I have Skype on my screen at the moment, so.
You have Skype on your screen and you can't see the chat?
I can't see the chat. I can't see anything except Skype.
Right. Well, then they're going to have to call in, I guess. So
yeah.
That's all we can do. All right, so the next word, I'm almost done. I'm almost done here. We probably won't do the read today because I don't want to go over the 3-hour mark if I can help it. But I've got a few more words, and then we'll pick up KOLBRIN next Sunday. And on Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday, I'll be back on my channel, the Forbidden History Archive. We're still working out the bugs on that, but I may do 2 next week, Tuesday and Thursday. Having an audio challenge because it's not the good studio sound. It sounds better when it comes through Skype through Ninja, but when I do it direct off my computer, do the broadcast off my computer, my microphone is not up to par. It really you can tell it's not a professional studio microphone, so I've got to work on that. That's another $250 I got to figure out how I can get one. So anyway, just want you to be aware we'll be on Forbidden History Archive. Make sure you're subbed there if you're not. And we'll be reading lost writings. That's what we're going to be doing there, reading lost writings, okay? And so the next word coming up here is, I like this one. Okay, physician. And I mean, I'm telling you, the hidden woman was just popping out everywhere. I think that's spelled right. It would have told me if it wasn't spelled right. So again, we're talking about the hidden woman, and so we got to bring it back to original Indo-Aryan form, and so it'd be like phasation. You see the word, this is what they did to us, with the original thought. They brought us the original thought in corrupted form through the College of Abbreviators outside the Vatican. So it's like it's almost there, but it's not there. And because you were educated by them, meaning they removed anything they would want you to see to wake you up, they educated you, ED for removed. Therefore, they're putting it right in front of us and saying, "You're too stupid, fool. You'll never get it. Ha ha ha." And but they didn't count on Dezert-Owl coming on the scene here and having a connection with the great Father of Light and the true light, not their phony light. And so phasation, and so what does that mean? And phase, when you have a sickness, you go through phases, right? So appropriately, the word phase, has relevance. Remember, we don't have any originals, so all we can do is to get near what the original is. Some of the forms I have, the root forms are all exact. That's why it's easy to do now, because I know the primitive root forms, like in other words, PH stands for creation. Once you hear this stuff, you're getting it. You're hearing what they're not teaching in university, right? They're not teaching this anywhere, because this is the key to the original. Original is superior. Original is first. That which is first is superior, is primary, is authoritative. And so these are the root forms. So the AY is the word for I, EYE, and the Z is the lightning strike. You can't miss that. If you flip it over, you get the letter N, because it is a letter N in the code. The two powers that came down, that's what I said, two N's together representing the M. And then A Shan. Well, what is a doc? And what do we want for in a doctor? We want him to have the royal eye. A Sha, royal eye, and then the N means that which came down, right? So literally, so what is a physician in the literal sense? The phase royal eyes. And the S is the symbol for the serpent, in contrast with the power. And so the serpent is weak, because the serpent is the creation. It's everything, but the spirit is behind the Fae. The behind this. Okay, and so this is what we want in the physician. We want him to have royal eyes, because we're counting on him to heal us. Healer, heal me, right? The great physician, Yeshua, of course. So there's your hidden woman again. And so in another one, we've got, let me push this all down. Okay. So in this one, we've got, okay, yeah, another good one. Hey. Okay, and so taser, the Z, if it sounds like a Z, it is a Z. But what did they do with our Z sounds? Like boys, right? We spell boys, B-O-Y-S. but we're lying to ourselves because it's not an S, it's a Z. So that's how they've confused our thinking. It sounds like a Z, but oh, they're told me it's an S. So I'll put the S there because they told me it's an S. Oh, okay. Well, they told me to put this over here. They told me to put that over there. Maybe they're lying to me about this and that as well, you know? And so we see this word is, we find, in other words, what we see it in Star Trek, especially. Get your phasers out, right? F-A-Z-E-R. They're going to phase you with the taser. And so we see in the word phaser, I don't like using that apostrophe. I'll just use it like that. Phase, Zar, T-Z-A-R. The phase Zar, which of course we don't use that word Zar very much, so we get confused with its meaning. Most people don't know what it means, but it is we use an S there. PHA, I don't like that. No, I'll use a Z. The phase star. So doesn't that make sense? That what's
sorry,
that?
typo. P-H-A. Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries.
P-H-A-Y. Okay. So it's a phaser is the phase star. That makes sense. You got stabbed. You got startled. Star. There's the word start again. Startled. You got zard. You got starred. You got tasered. You know, the power of the sun, knock you down, right? Knock you down. And so there it is. See, the taser, there's the original. And this is how they would have spoke back then. This is because everything had a picture. You know, the picture of the Fae is the woman. A czar is the star. It's the power. It's in all directions because it's got the letter T. The AR is the power word, like army, armament, arbitrary, argument, armor, arm. You use your arm. The AR. You see, these are primitive. These are exact root forms. They are not. There's no way on earth that they are wrong. These are primitive root forms: the PH, AY, the Z, the TZ, the T representing the four directions. The Z is the light going in the four directions. The AR is the power of that, the AR, and that's the star because it goes everywhere, right? Points in every direction. And okay, so got that. Winding down here. See if we'll probably beat the clock, but we'll open it up if anybody has a comment or question at the end, make sure. And so here's a good one. Everybody talks about freedom, right? This will be one you want to see. Freedom. And that is the, so free, we can start guessing what that word might be, right? But it is, because Fae, remember, the Fae also, you'll see me use it with an R. And so it's appropriate in this word in particular because it's the royal. And if you're free, the only way you can be sovereign is with the sovereign of the universe who made all things. And so you are free and sovereign in him, sovereign with the sovereign. And he gives us freedom to move about as long as we do his will. He just wants us to do his will and to serve, to be good, to speak truth, right? And so the word freedom is correctly you see that D is the death again. That's the death curse. The D is the sunset. The D is darkness. The D is doom. And so look at how this now is a reflection on physics, right? What could we call an atom? Like we could call it a free radical, right? It's bouncing everywhere, right? Going around looking where it's going to combine next with something else to create something, a gas or something physical in creation, right? The Frey atom. But we could pronounce it, give it the accent a little different, and call it Freya. So there's the woman, Freya Tom, but clearly we see in that the atom. And there's the word, the prime root for the word yacht, to go sailing, because you're pretty free out there on the open waters, right? Which way do you want to go? Being knocked around by the wind with your rudder. So there's the word for yacht, for movement. And there's There's a form right there. The anagram is hiding the word motor. So in that, the motor skills of the free atom, you know, move bouncing around everywhere, but you also the ability when you're free to go wherever you want. So that's your motor, and that's your motive in where within the creation, right? So and there's your ray of light, and so all of these different forms are in there, which are true aspects. So basically, we could call that free as the atoms. Okay, and the illustration for the atom I got off of a documentary one day. It was a really good one. I never forgot. And they wanted to make a point on how small the atoms are and how voluminous they really are within our world. But they said that they were saying just take a glass of water and think about how many atoms are within one glass of water. And they said that there are more atoms in one glass of water than there are glasses of water in all of the oceans of the world combined. Can you imagine? There are more atoms in one glass of water than there are glasses of water within all the oceans of the world. What a mind blower. How small they really are. How infinite the nature of our great Father of light, And so the fee is the Fae. Okay. And so we have to pay the Fae then. So who's the Fae? Well, the Fae in this instance is the corrupted form, and she wants it all. Give me the fee. Okay, I thought I was free. No, you're a slave. Give me the fee. Okay, and so this one. So this is what they did. This is how we talked about on the last program, how they played a game with us. Like I gave you the illustration of the word toilet when the breakdown of the two words, pretend light, right? Toilet means pretend light. Yeah, that's what they think of us, right? So they have this other one. So the word menorah is light, right? And so, but what they so there another definition they have for light, menorah, is manure. You see, it's the same word, and there's the word ray right at the end. Just like the word ra is also ray. They're the same word. Should have a y on it, but they abbreviate it again. They abbreviate the words, but that's their idea of the light. They think of it as manure. They put it at the end of the spectrum, right? Then and so that's the who's that are doing it to us, ladies and gentlemen. They played a game on us. They mind controlled us. They forgive the French, but they sodomized us. They really gave it to us, and that's what they do to children too, by the way, right? Okay. And then cinema. Okay, this is a good one, right? This again, they're occultic insult to what they do to us. So CINEMA, cinema, which literally then you can see means the sin of the mother. Ma is the prime root. Ma is mother. Okay, if you see MA, that's mother. That's the prime root, and everything else builds outside of that. See, there's the MO for mother, for motor, but the thir is the Thor. So it means the mother's power. So it's really two words. Mother means we did that at the beginning, right? The mother's power. But so literally, what does sin mean? There's another meaning behind the word sin, right? And this is what they intend to do to all of us real soon. They told us, right? The burning of the mother. There you go. All right, that's what they're gonna do. They took us to the cinema, and just like in all those movies I pointed out, Knowing and Constantine and Alice in Wonderland and on and on and on. They're telling us they're going to burn up the earth. And they did their pilot projects with Maui, with Paradise, with Malibu, and others. Right. One more, ladies and gentlemen, down to the last card, and you've got no questions. I can't get over it. Somebody out there must have a question. And so we're dealing with the word Peter. Better bump it down. And so Peter is, and this is why they see his name, just to clarify, the guy we call Peter was never called Peter, ever. This is and you see there's a sexual slang in that word, right? But, and that's why, because it's the obelisk, represents the obelisk as their number one, right? Number one. And they gave us all the shaft, right? So go think about it. And so his name in the corrupted Aramaic, because they corrupted it everywhere, right, is like that, Kepha, or they could use the PH, right? But his name is correctly, here's the woman again, Kefe. And so Kefe means hidden woman again. Strike again. All right. And so Peter is the Fey Tor. There's the Torah for the bull, right? So he's full of bull. That's the papal bull. Comes from the Vatican, right? The Torah meaning Talmud, want to kill you, right? Better download this video as soon as possible, ladies and gentlemen, because it may not be around after today. I just can't help but call a spade, and that's why we get no algorithm. That's why we're not promoted on their tube. You know what I mean? Power of the woman. Okay. And so we could wrap it up with Mary, because Mary, when Yeshua, Mary from Magdala, she comes in at the end of the story. Nothing they've said about Mary from Magdala is correct, not even her name, because it's not Mary Magdalene, it's Mary from Magdala. And Yeshua, he said, regarding, when she was anointing his feet, and he said, and by the way, it's not Mary, it's and before, the oldest documents don't have Mary, they have Marianne, but that is also an abbreviation. The original name for Mary is, well, May. That sounds correct. May, for the beautiful month of springing forth vegetation in the northern hemisphere. Meitzarim, and was used clearly by Farrar Fenton. He's got the most accurate translation, and he didn't lie. He spelled it out the way it is. It's Meitzarim. And that is also Egypt. There's really interesting, because it was a paradise on the river, life on the river. What it means is the mother's eye of a star. Okay, so literally we see here. Okay, there it is. That's Meitzarim, the mother's eye of a star, and it's plural, and so it means, in multitude. That's one thing I have to add. In multitude, the aim, that's the AYM, that's pointing towards, that's plural, and it's pointing towards multiple, and so it's the mother's eye. That's what life on the river, on the Nile, the nail that came down, the nail. Nile is nail, came down. And so that's what Mary represented. She represented what came down. What came down? What came down was the light through Yeshua. Okay? So what did, but this is Mary, his mother, but it's interesting, because he's also referring, when it's Mary, because we got the picture Mary, it means Mary, his mother, it means any Mary, because it's in the name. Okay. And so in our scripture, it says this thing that she hath done when it was when Judas begrudged the anointing with this expensive ointment, right? And it is expensive because the truth is expensive. It's hard to come by. It's the most precious commodity on the planet, apparently, the truth. It's a precious ointment, the anointing of truth. And so when Judas begrudged her from using the expensive ointment, he says, leave her alone. And he says, this thing that she has done will be written about as a memorial for her, but it's got to be the term woman, and they didn't want that, so they say this thing that she has done, but she is again the serpent. But this thing that the woman, this is what the correct translation should say, this thing that the woman hath done, has been written about, will be written about. This thing that the woman hath done will be written about as a memorial for her. You see, so it's not about Mary, it's about the woman. What did the woman do? The woman brought forth the creation. That's the power. The Phaetor, the Phae of power, is the power of the Spirit. What brought everything forth from the beginning, the Spirit, is the power that is behind the virgin light, behind the woman. You see? And so this thing that the woman hath done will be written about as a memorial for her. Well, they took her away from us. They stole the woman. They hid the woman. When the woman, in other words, you don't know until I told you here that, there was no God, if we're going to use their term, in the Old Covenant. She was feminine and a goddess, and also known as God, the god dress, because she's all dressed up. That's why, like, the woman wears the flowery dress, right? She's wearing all the colors because she's got the god dress on, the goddess. She's looking like nature. That's why men are kind of plain clothed and rigid, and women are round curved and wear colors, because it's natural, it's nature for them. And so where was I going with this? Okay, and that they didn't know, therefore, that what they stole from us is what we want to see, right? They all said, hey, show us the Father at the Last Supper, right? Show us the Father and we'll be happy. So they never saw the Father. They were seeing the mother, and the mother was known as in the Corruptinarian culture, they were called Frisian, something like that, but the Freya is the original. And so the Freya, who is the Fae, is the of, and so she's serving a purpose. Her purpose is to bring forth the baby. But once the Father was done, in other words, that which has a beginning has an end. So therefore, it was the intent of the Great Spirit, when he took the woman out of his side to form the creation. Out of his side came the woman on the macrocosm, not on the microcosm. On the macrocosm, he's bringing forth the woman. She is the creation. And therefore, the creation was used as an instrument to bring forth not the firstborn, but the secondborn, those who wanted to come out of this creation of falsehood and deception and deceit and corruption and everything that destroys, as we see in the occultists that are running our world, that hate our guts and want to kill us. They stole her from us, and so they only gave us the masculine, the God, when it's the goddess of the Old Covenant, and she was a blind goddess, and that's why in the Old Covenant she said, kill, kill, kill. Right? Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. You pull my tooth out, I'm gonna pull your tooth out. So she was blind in the idea of that she could not bring forth the absolute truth, right? Which was to forgive those who did you wrong, to love your enemies, those who want to kill you, to forgive, and to be an example of pure thought, pure consciousness, and to attempt to convert those who are wicked upon the earth, not to want to pay them back and punch them because they punched you, right? But to be the sovereign with the sovereign, to be used by him to do what he says according to his Eshavors, the scriptures, the Shultres. Oh, scriptures means skip truth. Another occulted term. We want the Shultres. And so Drone says, thank you, Desert Ninja. Got to go now. Much love. Okay, Drones, Stephen, good to have you, and hope that Taco Bell didn't hurt you too much. And Sandra saying, yeah, I often think of all the people reading, quoting, following the Bible, and yet I don't see how it can be relied upon anymore as truth. Well, the truth is hiding within it, Susan. In other words, they altered, they twisted, but it can be unraveled. It's a mystery, right? It's a discovery. And so therefore it is the only voice we have of the Father speaking other than nature. And therefore they're still using the scriptures, but so in other words, how was I able to unravel the code of the words? How could I read the Indo-Aryan, the Indo-European? How could I read it? The Father opened my eyes a little bit 50 years ago, and in the process he kept opening them for me by bringing me the right resource, the right material, putting it on documentary, helped me to see it, and giving me visions that, in other words, where I saw some of the things I saw for the first time, it was like, whoa, an explosion, yeah. And so he's the revealer. I could not have, unraveled this mystery or decoded what they did to us, but it's the Father who is the revealer, the great Father of light. Let there be light, and there is light. You see? And so he gave me the big download, not for me because I was worthy of it, but because he wants people to be up on it, to know that these occultists are pretty crafty. That's what they call themselves, the craft, right? They're pretty crafty, but they're not that crafty. They're not that good because they call themselves the all-seeing eye. Well, the Father sees everything they do, knows their game before they play it. And he gave everybody free will, so he's got to let it play out. But at the same time, he intervenes, especially within our lives, if we have connected with him. He wants to use us to remind the wicked of their ways. See, that's why I have to come on here and punch them right in the nose with the truth. They love the light. Well, here's some light for you, Freemason. But they're sold out. They're slaves. They took their blood oath. Now they got to do what Bhagavad Gandhi Rashish Hashish tells them to do. The most worshipful monster that abuses everything and everyone. Wants more, wants it all. And forgive the French, screw everybody else. Screw everybody else. Because they're connected with the bank. So they could get all their buddies in good offices of positions and business ownership and good automobiles and let the money flow and everything's good for them. They got all the drugs, all the sex they want. They make all the laws to enslave us, put us in prison. Well, they have a party with it. They go to court, they give the Grand Helen sign. They walk, you go up the river. It's the greatest show on earth, ladies and gentlemen. The greatest show on earth, and it's sickening. And people are suffering today. There's more suffering now today than ever before because there's more people on earth, and there's only 5 million Freemasons with all the other occultists. Maybe it's double, in the groups, all the Knights Templar or Knights of Malta or the Knights of Columbus, the Shriners, the the Red Cross, you know, all of these are their institutions, and they've all got their different positions and key playing power roles going on. And so Thea says, would you do the word power? Yeah, sure will. Thea, good to have you. You've been hanging in there with us then. Great. Okay, and Spicy says good night. Drones, okay, yeah, Spicy's still with us. And so let me open it back up to the, what graphic? All right, yeah, you want to pop, well, can you put it to me in Skype? Can you drop it in and I can pull it up on my end? Since I'm doing screen, oh, you go, because there won't be any delay. All right, go ahead, pop it up. Pop it up real quick. Yeah, what she's gonna pop up, I got the delay. We all do actually, I was wanting to show the graphic with the yin and yang, because again, symbolism is relevant, and I'll get to power in a second. But with this, I purposely had Ninja put the yin yang symbol right in the eclipsing of the sun, and the reason I did that, you see, it was perfect, because I took that other symbol with the IHS in it, right, and it was all gray, and so see what we have in the sun, right? In the sun, the Garden of Atoms, there, it is only light. So the light is predominant, but when creation came out of the sun, a duality occurred, right? Well, the first contrast was when the light was ignited, when the breath of the spirit breathed into the gaseous orb of the sun, it ignited, boom, now you have your duality. You have the darkness and you have the sunlight, right? But then something else is going to come out of the sun, and that's the lower creation. And so the mixing is within the sun, but there's no darkness in the light, right? You get what I'm saying? There's no darkness. So when this protoplasma, as we showed earlier in the program, of the children of the sun, the orbs that were coming off of the sun, that were being positioned within our solar system, or going further out into the deepness of space somewhere else, then what is being created in this mixing of the yin-yang symbol of the light and the dark is the material creation. Out from the light comes the material creation, and the material creation is kymatica. It's the opposites. It's male, female, sun and moon, light and darkness, up and down, in and out, hot and cold, right? The opposites, the kymatica of opposites, and the kymatica is the keymatica. The key meaning, you know, the keys are in these symbols that emanated and brought forth our creation, whether they're the stars or the you know, the trees, you know, the symbols of nature, what they express. The flower, the sun is a flower. The sun is a flower. You know, the sun is a lion. The sun is all these different metaphors. The owl, the all-seeing one. And so how this symbol with the color contrast was perfect, because in the outside we see the gray in the flames of and the projections of light from the moon. They're all gray in this contrast, because the yin and yang is about mixing the black and the white, the light and the darkness. But when creation comes forth, it's not all black and white, is it? You know, you have to figure it out. What is good? What is bad? What is light? What is darkness? What is up? What is down? What is in? What is out? And so the contrasts are blended together, and they are blended together in the gray. And the word gray, and we can go back now to the graphic on my side, Ninja, because I'll now answer that question. In the gray, in that gray, which is the composite of the mixing. It could be good, it could be bad, could be light, could be darkness, could be male, could be female, you never know, right? And so the G-R-A-Y, gray, we see then where we are in this world, and where we are right now, one way or another, unless you receive the Spirit of the Father, if you're in Yeshua, or if you're just the part of the walking dead that are out there that have not a clue as to who you are, where you are, why you are in the, because the grave is the middle. You see, you're in the gray. The gray, it would be like this, the gray V. There it is, you see? Because the V is creation. When they go on the battlefield, what they got on their arms? They got stripes. They're called chevrons, right? It's the V. If you're unimportant, you only got one V. If you're a sergeant, you got three V's, you know. And so the V, they put it on the tank, and we could call that the gray V as well, right? Because the V is what came down, and what came down is the mixing of the light and darkness, and so it's identified as the gray. And if we can, another symbol I wish I had now is the Vesica Pisces, where the two circles come together. But I'm sure many of you have seen it, and in there, let me see if I can pull it up. Let me do a search real quick. Let's see, maybe I can do it. Let's see. Firefox, Vesica. Vesica Pisces. Oh, what, did I spell it wrong? Vesica Pisces graphic. Oh, geez, graphic. Oh, the flower of life is what it is, Ninja. I don't know if I'm going to get it here because it's not registering properly. Uh-oh, there's no results. Okay, let me try on a whim. Let me just try this. Two circles coming together. All right, there we go. There we go.
Well
That'll
done.
work. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so wonder what'll happen.
Go click on images up the top there, just underneath your search. Click on
Images?
the word images.
Oh, teach me a new trick here. And I didn't even know about that stuff. I don't look that high up there. All right, this is great. There we go. Wow. She figures out more tricks, I got to tell you. And, you know, now that we're doing this, look at this. You see, this illustrates where we are. We're talking, it fits the discussion. You see, let me do this first. Okay, so we can see over here the two circles coming together. You see that okay on your end, Ninja?
Yes.
It's got a blue tint to it, right?
Yes.
I don't want to mess anything because I'm going to go to this graphic next. And we see it down here also, down below.
You can make them a little bit bigger if you want. Like you can select one and just select one and no, just click. No.
No, I did it. I just did it. Look.
Okay, well.
It's a new tab. I jump started you.
A better idea than what I had.
All right. So let me blow it up. Okay. So here we got think about the yin and yang again. And so on the right, we got the right on the light, on the right. On the left, we got what's left of light, the darkness. And when the light and darkness come together in the middle, you got the gray. That's your Vesica Pisces. That's your almond. Remember, the priesthood was called the almond priesthood, and Aaron's almond rod budded, because it creates the two circles coming together, the shape of the two circles, and so that's in between the two worlds, right? The darkness is one world, the light is the other world, and so when these two circles come together, then you get the gray in the middle and the Pisces, the Vesica Pisces, and that's where the priest would claim to be. The priest would claim he's in the middle between the darkness and the light. He is the authority, or he is the intervener. But we know now Yeshua today is our high priest and our intervener, and we don't need any priesthood to help us. So that's what that is talking about. And then the flower of life comes out of that as well. like here's another example of that. The flower of life coming together. If they keep going, there's the 5-pointed flower in that mix. This was a good find. And so anyway, that's where that is out. Oh, I wanted to point out that one other thing. Come on. Oh, now I got to minimize this. All right. And so where are we on the scale? So if you could imagine that the sun is at one end of the spectrum, and then over here at the point where the point would be, because it's an arrow or a chevron pointing, if the point were here, that's the smallest point. It's the dot, right? The sun is over here, and over here is the dot, which is the atom, the smallest point. I wonder if I pull this up, if it'll all be showing. No, it's not. But just imagine that this goes all the way to a point, right? And so the question is, if this is the sun, and at the tip of the point is the atom, the biggest, we got the contrast, the biggest and the smallest, where are we? We, in this picture, are right in the center. We are in the center, right about here, for our size. And so we're in the middle. We are in between the sun and the atom, right at the middle, and that's in the gray. And the only one who ever pointed this out, I had seen it on my own, and then one day, Nasser Harriman, Nasser Harmeen, I can't remember his name now. My associate Patricia knows him and worked with him for a bit. But Nasser Harmeen, he's one of the foremost physicists in the world. He dropped out of high school like me, and therefore couldn't gravitate to being educated because it was all a big lie. And so anyway, so that's where we are in the middle, and that's the gray, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so just want to point that out to you. It's a good illustration. Thank you, Ninja. And we'll get back now to the final word of the day. We're at high noon, and always seem to get there. It's amazing when I want to do a short one. That wasn't today though, for sure.
High noon
and
for you, and the word power.
All right, high noon and power. Thank you, Ninja. So power, Power. In one, you see, so it's an occultic word, right? So we can see something in there. Flower. Oh, we could talk about flower power, but there's a problem because it's a code and it's hiding something else, and it is the flow war, the flow of war. And don't those perennial, non-ending warlocks just love the smell of war? That's their flower. That's their power, the flow of war, you see? And so the original word, and the Germans, the Jews who were the German army, and they admitted it in their own documentary. They said in World War I, there was 1 million Jews in the German army because it is the bankers' army. You think they're going to go kick butt in all of Europe and destroy all those other people, the French and the Spanish and the Austrian and Hungarian, and they're Polish, and they're going to destroy all these people. They're just going to bring out their guns and start shooting. If they weren't already running the world, who would let them get away with that unless they could get away with it, right? And so they were the German army. So they played both sides. They played the victim. How come the Jews always want to talk about 5 million, which it never was, and yet they never want to talk about how the Jews killed 60 to 100 million Russians and Christians in Soviet Union, took them to Siberia. 60 to 100, they never talk about that, do they? We never hear about that. That's because they control all information, ladies and gentlemen. But a lot of my friends last century discovered all these things and brought it on the table, and then they know they got the benefit of time, and very, very little by little, people just forget. Oh, we're a good slave. What do you want us to think today? Oh, okay. Well, I'm happy to think that if that's what you say. Sure. Okay. So flow of war, but the correct word for power is Panzer. And so we saw that in the German tanks, the Panzer. the Panzer tank. That's and so you see they're using the primitive Indo-Germanic, Indo-European, Indo-Aryan within our modern words. That was my point earlier, and so the fan, so it is, so fan means power. Look up at the word above, right? So we have to use the modern now to get it. What is pan? Look at this, pan, right? We know pan means everywhere, right? The panorama. Pan played the flute, but it was a play on the word for everywhere. They're playing their music, right, while they're killing everybody, blowing the panpipe, But pan is PHAN, fan. Well, there it is, fan, FAN, right? Okay, so what it means in the idea of a fan, right? The blowing fan on you is the remember, czar is star, right? Czar. So in other words, you can't get more powerful than the power of a star, ladies and gentlemen. So they named the big tank, the big gun that goes everywhere, crushes everything under its feet, the Fanzar. The Fanzar, the Fanzar. You see, so that's the name of the game, ladies and gentlemen. And it's the control of your words is the control of your thinking. And they wanted us as stupid as they could ever possibly make us to be good little automaton slaves. Where do you want me to stand? Oh, what do you want me to think? Okay, yeah. And I'm trying to find where am I at here. There we are. All right, so I'm worn out. I've done my dirty deed for today. I guess dirty deed, the opposite meanings, of course, right? And
can I ask
yeah,
one question?
Sure, Ninja, go ahead.
When you were talking about pan, isn't
Pan?
that also the name of?
Oh, wait a minute, wait, before you go further. Pan backwards is nap. Take your nap. Time to take your nap, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead. Reverse, right? Go ahead.
Pan is also. No, I'll turn that back into a question. Is Pan also the name of that?
Peter Pan.
No, but that half man, half goat.
Yeah. There's your goat. There's your, your Freemasonic goat right there.
There's a statue
what I just
of
realized
it in the Botanical Gardens in Sydney. A statue.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. And they love it. And so what's interesting is that now I'm thinking of Peter Pan, right? And so who was Peter Pan? He was the one who kidnapped your children.
Yes, he played the flute to get them to follow him. To get the children to follow him. That's why he played
that
the
was
flute.
Pan also, right?
Yeah.
That was Pan.
Oh, was that the... No, that's
so
the Pied Piper. I'm thinking of the Pied Piper. Oh, so many...
Okay. Well, it's... All right, but the Pan goat represents that probably. So anyway, so we see... So what it means is then Peter Pan is the, is the gun, so to speak, that is going to round up all the children. That was the last one that was rather classic was the one with the comedian who did Mork and Mindy. And they killed him eventually.
Robin Williams.
Yeah, Robin Williams, right? He did a classic of the Peter Pan movie. It's worth watching, but you got to see it for the symbolism. See it for the symbolism because it was about how they're stealing our offspring. Children is the wrong word. It's offspring. And, so they're stealing our offspring. And they do it through, if you ever wanted to see you can't see, by the way, a better version of communism than when you go to a school board meeting. You go to a school board meeting and all those people sitting on the stage, they are communists. Same in a town hall meeting. They are the communists. You can't get any more red than those people. They're there as gatekeepers. Go ahead, take your 3 minutes and speak, but we don't care what you got to say. We're running the show here, comrade. Right? That's what they're doing. And they put all the sexual garbage in the schools, And it's just amazing what they've done to our world, ladies and gentlemen. But that's the ones who are running it. And the good news, ladies and gentlemen, is it's not our world. That's the good news. If you purify your heart and your mind and are perfect before your Maker, your little ones will be protected no matter where they are. You are the sanctification for your little ones when it seems so desperate and there is no hope. The Father will not, he said, he will visit your offspring down to the third and fourth generations. And therefore, you are their protection. You create their shield, just like they want to create their Roth shield, their red shield. And the word shield is child. So it's the red children. The red, and the child means cold and killed and death, because they killed us when they gave us the birth certificate when we came into the world. Right? We were dead on arrival. From Roman civil law, when a slave baby had its feet impressed upon the back of a birth certificate, before its feet ever touched the ground, it was a slave for life. And so you got it right here, ladies and gentlemen. And I sure enjoy bringing it to you because I love to speak the truth. There's not enough of it going around. It seems everybody wants to talk about aliens and flat earth and what goes bump in the night, paranormal garbage. You know, the only thing that matters is connecting with the one who made all things, because he's the only true spirit active in this universe and involved with everything. And everything else is an illusion and a lie and a deception. And people deceive themselves better than any other form of deception, because they're not centered and because they don't get it and because they follow the yellow brick road of deception and they're under the string of that Communist Party, and we need to be set free from them. And the best way to be set free is to know the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, the truth will set you free. So I'm Desert Owl telling you, don't worry. If you want to know the future, then you need to look for the forbidden history, because it's all right here, coming your way, somewhere out there 7 days a week. It's what they didn't want you to know that we tell right here, of course, because somebody's got to do it. And that's why I'm here. So join us on the Forbidden History Archive on probably on Tuesday, Wednesday at the latest, but Tuesday, just make sure you're subbed so you get the notices, and we'll be back with a little more of the same, ladies and gentlemen. And the lost writings, especially what we're going to read, are the scriptures there, and that you've never heard before. And so tell a friend, won't you? And thanks for doing it. We'll see you.
Starry, starry night, paint your palette blue and gray. Look out on a summer's day with eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Shadows on the hills, sketch the trees and the daffodils, catch the breeze and the winter chills in colors on the snowy linen land. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. Starry, starry night, flaming flowers that brightly blaze, swirling clouds in violet haze, reflect in Vincent's eyes of china blue, colors changing hue. Morning fields of amber grain, weathered faces lined in pain, are soothed beneath the artist's loving hand. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now, for they could not love you but still your love was true. And when no hope was left inside on that starry, starry night, you took your life as lovers often do. But I could have told you, Vincent, this world was never meant for one as beautiful as you. Starry, starry night, portraits hung in empty halls, frameless heads on nameless walls, with eyes that watch the world and can't forget, like the strangers that you've met. The ragged men in ragged clothes, a silver thorn, a bloody rose, lie crushed and broken on the virgin snow. Now I think I know what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they're not listening still. Perhaps they never